Hello, all guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to the newest episode of the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast, brought to you on YouTube, on Spotify, on Google, and Apple Podcasts. I'm Austin. I'm a knockout. Watch a lot of wrestling.
I'm David. I'm a noob. Haven't watched nearly as much wrestling, and I can't believe we're here. I can't believe. I'm not talking about episode 101. We did all that fucking jacking off the show last episode of it's the 100th episode. No. I ain't talking about any show milestone. I'm talking about here in the promised land, my oasis in the desert. I have been foretold of this day for so long, for several years now, by my dearest co-host, and it is so bizarre, enthralling, slightly terrifying that we are finally upon it. Austin, what are we covering this time around?
We have finally reached our long-awaited conclusion to the Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio story arc of 2005. It's time for SummerSlam, where we will have a ladder match to determine the custody of Dominik Mysterio.
One of the most momentous occasions in all of pro wrestling history. And I feel like I'm going to be let in, Austin, on some arcane eldritch knowledge by finally partaking in this, in watching this match.
It is truly one of the most bizarre stipulations ever put to a wrestling match.
Yes.
I would absolutely call it the most bizarre I've seen in a mainstream. I have seen one match that I would argue is more ridiculous than this. And it was also a legal thing.
Oh, no.
In Impact Wrestling a couple years back, they had an entire murder mystery plot about who tried to kill Johnny Bravo. That was his name. At his own wedding, and they have the suspect, and he has to wrestle Tommy Dreamer in a match. And if he beats Dreamer, he doesn't go to jail. But if he loses to Tommy Dreamer, he's got to go to jail for the murder. For the attempted murder.
So it sounds like Impact there had a most unfortunate relapse, if you will, into its horrible drugged up TNA days for a hot minute with that storyline.
I mean, Impact has really embraced under doing weird shit, even when it stopped being TNA.
Oh my god.
And of course, the loser of the match, of course, Tommy Dreamer would win that match, and the suspect would go to jail for the murder. But
what?
He would listen. He was let off because he was revealed he was brainwashed into doing it. So the brainwashee was sent to jail.
Was the brainwashee another wrestler?
Yes. Yes, it was a wrestler who was leaving the company. So this is how they wrote her out of the company.
What the
is
fuck?
To go to jail for attempted murder.
Imagine going to the boss and being like, "Hey, so I think I'm like done here." And they're like, "Oh yeah, no problem. Just roll with us for a couple months on an insanely convoluted murder mystery plot, and you'll be set free." What? Excuse me?
Fantastic piece of business. That the bet it was very funny though, because they were like, where are they taking her to the Jacksonville penitentiary, or is she going to Stanford?
Hey, who was it?
Taya Valkyrie. She would end up going to WWE.
Stanford, then.
She did go to Stanford and then came back to Impact.
Hey!
After she was fired.
How did they explain that one?
I wasn't watching Impact when she came back. I would love to know as well.
I think it'd be really funny if they just did not pay any lip service to the way she was written off previously.
No. Someone also made a joke of, what about Baltimore? And they're like, no one goes there.
Baltimore?
That's where Ring of Honor was based.
Oh. That's funny.
Yeah, but no, that was a very
that
good
does
joke.
sound more unhinged in a way, but also like I think in terms of like weird legal rabbit holes, the Rey Mysterio versus Eddie for the custody of Dominic still very much wins.
That's fair. But yes, SummerSlam 2005 is upon us. As as per usual, we will only watch some of the matches on this show, specifically 4 out of the 8 that are on this show. The last episode of SmackDown before SummerSlam didn't really have anything going on, not worth talking about really at all. So let's just skip right onto it. So I am going to discuss the matches that will be happening this evening and the ones we will not be watching, because we never have time to sit down and watch a full 3-hour pay-per-view. So I always cut it down to about 2 hours of content.
King.
So the first match on the show that we will not be watching is Orlando Jordan versus Chris Benoit for the United States Championship. This is a purely SmackDown story, but Chris Benoit is in it, so we will not.
Hey, good shit.
Then in a singles match that we will not be watching, match number 2, because it is a Raw storyline, Edge versus Matt Hardy. All right. As a quick sum up for you people at home, even though I've talked about the dynamics of this a lot, basically, Matt Hardy and Lita were IRL dating.
Yes.
And then Matt Hardy was injured and thus had to be sent home. And while Matt Hardy was sitting at home recuperating, Lita started cheating on him with Edge.
Yeah, they weren't terribly subtle about it. They had sex in the ring.
That's later.
Wait, I thought you said the sex celebration.
The sex celebration was for beating John Cena for the title in early 06. This is 2000.
Oh.
They were an established couple when they fucked
no.
in the ring.
Oh no.
So they got together, and of course, people figured out this was happening, and Matt Hardy got pissed about it.
Really?
Obviously. And WWE's response was, "We are going to fire Matt Hardy because you're being annoying."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Get
the capital
offense
of Vince McMahon is being a mild annoyance.
Right. So I've talked about this so much, but this is when on screen Lita was dating Kane, was married to Kane, the rapist, if I may remind you.
Oh no.
And so, but because the story of Edge and Lita got out, the fans turned hard on Lita for being a big old slutty slut.
Yeah. How dare she pick literally anyone else over her own rapist?
It would be her character for the rest of her career in WWE, is how much of a big slut you are. This is it for Lita.
So what I'm hearing is Lita's the proto AJ Lee, except like slightly more yikes.
Way more yikes than
way
AJ
more
Lee
yikes. Yeah, okay, that's
was.
fair. Yes, way more yikes.
But anyway, so they lean into Edge and Lita for heel heat. And then after a few months, they do bring back Matt Hardy to do the storyline for real, to do it as a storyline.
So, now that he is no longer in Guerrero.
Right. So then the third match of the show, and the first one we will be watching, is our ladder match. I don't need to explain any of the story here.
That's the first one? God damn.
It's the third match on the show. Is the Dominik?
That feels like that should be like the semi-main or something. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie Guerrero was big mad about constantly losing to Rey, so he decided to try to steal back Eddie. Eddie was like, "I'm choosing this moment to be like, Dominik is my actual biological son, and I'm taking him back. Thanks."
And we're not gonna go into any of the questions that raises. Watch any of the previous episodes in this arc to see us lose our minds over how insanely incoherent that entire plot is.
Real big shout out to episode 94, appropriately titled "Ray offers his son's custody for the match."
It gets even worse. Yeah. No, the big punchline here is that Ray didn't even need to be coerced. Dipshit offered to do this when he
Right.
basically had this in the bag.
So a social worker was like, "You guys are just using this child as a proxy for your own stupid bullshit. So I'm at you. He's going into foster care while you settle this crap." And you ever wonder if perhaps this is why Dominik is the way he is now? A hardened criminal from prison.
Hey, now that I am studying sociology, I can tell you that one of the leading indicators of criminality is lack of stability in your home life, and I would say this is a pretty traumatic lack of stability in your home life.
And I just feel like Ray probably should have went to brought them all to family therapy, and he didn't. I'm just gonna go ahead and guess that right now.
Yeah, no, Ray inevitably gets Dominik back and was like, no, it's fine, actually. Everything's fine now. We don't need to think about this ever again.
Yeah, and now look at Dominik. He's done hard time.
He's done hard time
in prison.
He's got a mommy dom.
He's got a mommy dom. He's running with a rough crowd. I mean,
Absolutely.
Look what's happened.
Beat up his own dad just the other day.
This all could have been solved if you actually took Dom to therapy, Ray. Did you ever consider that? No,
Man,
I bet you didn't.
Maybe Ray is a shit dad.
You're damn right. He is a bad father.
Because Rey Mysterio is a bastard, man.
He is. So, the fourth match on the show that we will not be watching because it is a Raw match. Kurt Angle versus Eugene.
Eugene.
Oh, brother. Okay. So
that's a name I haven't heard ever.
Yeah, and now I have to explain it.
Wait, is this the like random person from the crowd fight? Is this what this is? Okay.
No,
okay.
that's Santino who debuted that way. But no, Eugene is Nick Dinsmore, and his character was initially the idea was to have him be like a wrestling savant. Someone who wasn't necessarily the smartest guy, but he is a wrestling genius, you know, which is fine.
Oh, no.
And
this character.
This turned into Eric Bischoff's nephew, who is mentally handicapped, is the nicest way I will put it.
Yeah, I've heard of this character.
He's a little special.
The worst character in all of the Fed's history, and that's saying something.
Yeah, it's weird and a little uncomfortable. It could be worse in that he could be a heel. Oh wait, they do turn him heel.
They do turn him heel at some point, yeah.
But right now he is just a he is just a kind of a archetypal lovable underdog babyface, but he is a lovable underdog because he's mentally handicapped.
He's special needs, yes.
Yep. And he's fighting Kurt Angle for reasons I don't fully know because I don't watch Raw, but they're fighting for Kurt Angle's Olympic medal. Fantastic.
Oh, yeah. That sounds like a real banger of a story there.
I'm glad this is Raw's contributions to SummerSlam.
Damn. Raw always was the worst show. Changed my mind.
The next match that we will be watching is Randy Orton versus The Undertaker.
Ooh, The Undertaker. Oh, hey, this shit. Okay.
Randy Orton
interrupted the match with what's his face. Yeah.
Yeah, Randy Orton has determined that losing once to The Undertaker at WrestleMania has killed his entire legacy, and therefore The Undertaker must die. So
absolutely.
And Undertaker has been doing spooky PowerPoint in response.
This is true. I will say, it's SummerSlam, so The Undertaker's not necessarily wearing plot armor this time.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Then the sixth match on the show, the one I wanted so badly for us to do, but we don't have time, but I tried. John Cena versus Chris Jericho for the WWE Championship. I feel like we've watched so much Raw recaps on
I
accident.
know.
It's like we had
It's
to
like
see the
we've
payoff.
watched the arc. Yeah, absolutely. Now I'll
But-
never know what those recaps, those fucking overlong, intrusive ass Raw recaps were leading to. Oh yeah. Baby.
But unfortunately, no, we didn't have time for that because we have to watch the main event. I'll get to it in a second.
Okay.
So next match on the show, Batista versus JBL for the world title in a no holds barred match because that was Jibble's contribution to I can pick any stipulation.
Jibble. Yeah, I know. That was the dumbest thing. Jibble. Good old Jibble. I love that. Good old Jibble could have picked the JBL automatically wins match, or the JBL is just illegally allowed to shoot Batista in the fucking face with an actual gun stipulation, or any number of things that would immediately. But no, they had to do. He's just like, oh yeah, any stipulation. You don't know the power you just gave me. I can control you. I can make you my bitch. You. Yeah, I'd like one no holds barred match, please. What?
Batista must wear handcuffs match.
Yeah, literally. Batista must be bound and gagged from the neck down. Literally anything. What? Jesus Christ, JBL's an idiot.
Yes, but our main event. And
okay.
It's a Raw story, and you could argue that we shouldn't do it because we haven't followed this arc. But also, I never want to come back to SummerSlam 2005. And what review of SummerSlam 2005 doesn't include this match? A bad one, I'll tell you that. This is a battle of icons, sir. It is Hulk Hogan versus Shawn Michaels.
Oh, no! The politics fight! No! Man, I can't wait to step into to watch Shawn Michaels and Hulk Hogan step into a ring with each other and just spend 20 minutes saying back and forth, this isn't going to work for me, brother.
Yeah, so this match started basically. Shawn Michaels had a tag match with the Hulkster dude, and then Shawn Michaels super kicked him in the face after the match. And Shawn, it is a combination of Shawn being like, I want to prove myself as the bestest wrestler ever by beating Hulk Hogan, but also he also has this promo in Montreal talking about like Hulk Hogan, you judge me for my choices and my history when you represent values that you are a hypocrite about.
What? Why are they? That's a weird. What? Why? Huh?
I mean, I don't know why Shawn has to have a completely correct point that Hulk Hogan, brother, the say your prayers, eat your vitamins dude, but he's also a giant bastard of a person. But
why are we taking it there?
To give some heat to the match, I guess.
That's so weird. That's really weird, Shawn.
I mean, I feel like the story was not worth doing its own arc about. The two things worth really going out of your way to see, I would assume, are the skit where they do a fake Larry King interview and Shawn Michaels dresses up as Hulk Hogan and pretends to do Hulk Hogan.
Please tell me Triple H is playing Larry King.
I don't remember who plays Larry King in the skit.
Damn it.
And the Montreal promo, which is honestly more famous for the fact that Montreal is still pissed about the Montreal screw job, and so Shawn Michaels just gets booed out of the building.
Yeah, well, isn't that the promo where he like the Bret Hart music hits and he looks all freaked out and then nothing happens and he's like, yeah, I had you go in there for a minute, didn't I?
He's done that. I feel he did do that. I don't remember what year he like teases Montreal that Bret Hart's coming back.
Man, that's like nuclear. I still that's I know this is unrelated, but like I still can't believe they actually did that. Like that is like that's more than nuclear heat. That's like I don't even fucking know what's higher than nuclear heat, but that's like just transcendent heat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god. But yeah,
Canada didn't forgive Shawn until Bret did. That's the way that
literally.
goes.
Yeah, I watched that promo recently and I was like, "Oh, that's nice." And now they're friends. But like what really cracks me up about this Shawn Michaels Hulk Hogan thing is the fact that Shawn Michaels thinks that beating Hulk Hogan will prove that he's the best in the world ever, which like okay, yes, I know in kayfabe Hulk Hogan is one of the bestest wrestlers of all time because he's so winning. He's got so many championships under his belt.
That's right, brother. Hey, I'm a 15-time world champion, dude.
Yeah, only 15 times because half those were like weird transitional champ bullshit angles of like someone else was champ for 2 seconds, then Hogan squashed them.
Oh hell yeah, brother! I made that little jabroni Lex Luger. He was champion for a week, brother, and then I made sure that he understood that the Woodmaster is the top guy in the WCW, dude.
God, no little Dunkaroos for Lex Luger, dude. No, fucking. Okay, I guess in kayfabe, but also like Shawn Michaels, Shawn. Look, I think all you need to do to prove that, look at your moveset, look at the Hulkster's moveset, like put them on a scale, see that one greatly outweighs the other, and I think that's all you like. It's fine. You don't.
I do have one question for you though. Is that the way this match goes is heavily influenced by how the backstage politicking went.
Yes,
so
absolutely, of course.
How would you like to know before you watch or after you watch what the backstage politicking went?
I mean, I'm
because
pretty
that
sure
is
we already
honestly
discussed it a little
everyone's favorite part of the story.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we already discussed it a little bit. We can discuss it more like after we watch it. But like as far as I know, it literally was backstage a battle of that ain't gonna work for me, brother, between the two of them.
I see. We got to save it for the back half then.
Yes.
You think or
no?
I
Save it for.
Was very excited. I kind of wanted to say it now, but all right.
No, I wanna see and I wanna like watch the match and like formulate my own idea and then see how close I got.
All right. So yeah, that is the main event of SummerSlam, and it is a masterpiece in my humble opinion.
Yeah,
and needs to be seen by all.
Oh, I bet there's nothing more masterful than an aged Hulk Hogan and an aged Shawn Michaels going at it.
The Hulkster can still go, brother. I haven't fully destroyed my hips yet, dude. I can still drop the leg 1, 2, 3, brother.
God damn. Yeah, Hulk Hogan, I'll give him credit for this. He literally was I'm going till the wheels fall off, motherfucker. Like he until his tailbone could just not take anymore. He kept dropping that leg, baby.
Yeah, allegedly these days he like needs help to walk. Basically, he like can barely walk on it under his own power anymore these days, brother.
Jesus Christ, Hulk.
Because of the fucking leg drop.
Yeah, because he had a leg drop as his like one of his signature moves and just fucked up his tailbone forever.
Yep. I did it for all the little Hulkamaniacs, dude.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All the little Hulksters need to see me put the big boot in the 1, 2, 3, brother. I inspired the children, brother. Are you saying I
inspired the children by crippling myself for life, brother?
Are you trying to say I shouldn't have inspired the children, dude?
I'm saying, Hulk, that like you could have done that without crippling yourself in the long run, but you know.
But the kids wanted the big boot and the leg drop, brother. I don't know what you're talking.
You know what? No, I didn't consider that. Thank you. I didn't. That completely. Why? How could I forget such an important calculus? Thank you.
Of course, brother. Hulkster always knows what's best for the little Hulkaroos down there and Hulkamaniacs, brother.
Yeah, just the death cult of Hulkamania children. You really have their best interest at heart.
Of course, brother. Always remember to drink your Hulkamania flavored Flavorade, brother.
And then we can go wrestle up in heaven, brother.
Oh yeah, dude.
I can't wait. I can't wait to wrestle all my little Hulkamaniacs up in heaven, brother.
Oh yeah, brother.
God
But
damn.
but
Okay.
they still gotta put me over, brother. They even in, up in all the little fucking maniacs in heaven, brother.
I ain't
They
gonna
gotta.
look bad in front of Jesus, dude.
Yeah, I don't worry. The little Hulkamaniacs. They want to pin me, Hulk Hogan. But I gotta tell them that don't work for me, brother.
I'm in the presence of the Lord, dude. Would you let the Hulkster sully his reputation in front of the Lord, brother?
Do you want me?
I didn't
Do you
say
want to
all those
embarrass?
goddamn prayers for nothing.
Do you want to embarrass me in front of the Lord Almighty Jesus Christ, brother? Is that what you're saying, little dude?
I didn't say all those prayers like a dweeb for now. When I tell you to pray, brother, I mean for you to pray for me to go to heaven so I can drop the boot on Jesus and have God applaud for me.
Oh yeah, brother. That Jesus Christ dude. I mean, it took him 3 days to get up, brother. Now,
Yeah.
if it had been me, Hulk Hogan, I would have kicked out at 3.1, brother. Put him. I would have put
I'm
over.
pretty
I
sure
would have
we've
put.
done
I
the.
would have put.
I'm pretty sure we've done the Hogan as Jesus joke before. Stop.
Yes.
Stop.
But no, I'm going back to it because oh my god, I would have put a. I would have done the 1, 2, 3 for the crucifixion, brother. As long as I got my win back, dude.
I will say the best part about doing any of these Hulk bits is the fact that like any of this unhinged shit we're saying could actually be like an actual Hulk quote. Without a doubt,
Oh yeah, brother.
I could see him saying how he would have kicked out better than Jesus Christ, getting the 1, 2, 3 days hit on him, brother.
Oh yeah, brother.
Oh my god. Yes, all right. So deranged egomaniac Hulk Hogan versus born again Christian but still an egomaniac Shawn Michaels. I'm sure it'll be great.
Yep. So this show can be found on Peacock if you would like to watch along with us.
Absolutely.
But we will be back in the back half to discuss SummerSlam 2005.
Hell yeah, brother.
And we are back. We have finished most of SummerSlam 2005, even though I watched all of it myself. So I can tell all of you people what happened.
Oh, you people. This is Austin's heel turn. I have to watch full pay-per-view so I can tell you people. And I'm fucking sick of it.
I hate you people promos. They almost all suck. I hate them. Don't put that on me.
No, it's all the fans' fault, Austin. It's all their fault, and that's great motivation to become a supervillain all of a sudden. Don't you know?
Sure. Okay. So SummerSlam 2005.
Yes.
What thoughts do you have, David, from the parts that you watched?
Honestly, for the most part, I had a good time. Okay, actually, no, that's a lie. The first half of what I watched, I had a good time. The back half was fucking stupid.
Yeah. I think that the hour we didn't watch, that I only watched, brought down the overall quality of the show, in my opinion.
Oh.
But I think there's highlights. I think I have different highlights than David does in a couple spots.
Interesting.
But overall, it was an average show, in my opinion, on the range of SummerSlams.
It was fine. I will say, I know I'm normally
the best match on the show was the one we came for, so that worked out well.
Yes, I will say I'm usually a stickler for kind of doing things the straightforward way. I think this time around we are in the rare occasion where the grand finale for an arc is not in fact the main event for the show. I think
or even close to it.
Not remotely. It's yeah. I think this time and this time only, I want to end with discussing the ladder match.
Okay, so
that is the grand finale.
Sure, that's fair. So we'll just go through the show in order then, and skip and come back to it. Okay, so the show is in Washington D.C.
Indeed.
And so that means we got to
We're all here
open
for America.
with the color guard and the Navy Reserve Corps with the flag and the rah, rah, rah. And Lillian Garcia is there to sing the national anthem.
Yeah, I guess their in-house ring announcer in 2005 actually has a really good voice. Shout out to her. That was a like. Look, I'm always I got my own feelings about singing national anthem mandatory and shit like this, but like kudos to her. That's a solid voice. That's cool, like second talent to have.
I made a note. Lillian be vamping like fucking everyone does. At least she's singing the right fucking notes.
True. Look, we can appreciate accurate vamping.
Mm-hmm.
Little bit of riffing never hurt anyone. Also, shout out to the dudes in the crowd that have the "I'm real" military shirts.
I also noted that. I was like, this is cringe as fuck.
As opposed to fake military. Did they have to differentiate? Did like Sergeant Slaughter keep like trying to crash their military only parties? Do they need to differentiate when they're in kayfabe world? Like, what's happening?
Why do they I'm real military. Again, total cringe. I was like, I hate it. Thanks.
Yeah, why? What as opposed to what?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. Also, we cut to a shot of someone in the crowd who has a America flag. And I was about to ask why the fuck like who the fuck brings an American flag to a pro wrestling show in 2005? But then I remembered who's probably going to win the main event tonight. And I was like, "Oh, actually no, it all makes sense."
Oh, yes, brother.
So it could be the year of our Lord 4042, and the reanimated cybernetic corpse of Hulk Hogan will still be bringing an American flag to the ring.
Hey, we can't get ahead of ourselves here. There's a whole lot of stuff to say about Hogan.
A lot of stuff, yes.
And so then after she's done, we get USA.
US.
Like
yeah, we got to get a whole USA chant going, because sure.
All right, we get the big hype package for all the stuff on the show. And then the first match of the show that only I watched, Chris Benoit versus Orlando Jordan. Wait.
Before we skip over all of the before we just brazenly skip over the opening video package, I got to talk about toward the end of it. So it's a pretty sick opening video package, except for the Eugene feud part. Fuck that. So we get to the final part of the video package. The video package goes dark and for a minute, and then it comes back again to Hogan and HBK's big hype video. And I just had some notes here from the lead up to this, because man, this seems like it was a wild lead up. HBK is apparently on the road here accused Hogan of living on the same reputation you cultivated 20 years ago. And yes, Shawn, that is how a reputation works. Thank you for that. And the best part is Hogan just kind of replies with like, "Why, yes, I like."
I don't see any problem here, dude.
He's because we got to him saying, "I'm doing this for all the little Hulkamaniacs, brother," which is essentially him just being like, "Yeah, literally, this is my rep." And Shawn Michaels also apparently said to Hogan at one point, "You said you wanted the old HBK." That's a weird thing to imagine Hogan saying. "Well, you got him," which I take to mean Shawn Michaels just snorted 2 lines of coke backstage. I apparently there was a line from Hogan on the way here that was, "What you gonna do when the Hulkamania destroys you?" So apparently I didn't realize Hulk Hogan had an audition to be the vocalist for the Bad Boys theme song. And
what you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys,
brother. What you gonna do, dude? What you gonna do, if you will? And okay, ending on a slightly more earnest note, there's a line that I think was from Shawn Michaels of, "You're one more move from your star being snuffed out." That was actually a pretty line,
Shawn takes an extremely hard heel turn for just this feud only.
Why?
Because who the fuck? Because he's facing Hogan. He's got to be a heel. He's facing Hogan.
If you're only a face if you're up against Hogan. You are only a face. Fuck all of you. Also, I just want to point out too, after the video package is all done, the immense amount of pyrotechnics they have shooting off inside of this arena. We get a solid 20 seconds of just straight pyro
pew, pew,
to
pew,
open
pew,
the show.
Pew, 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 pew.
I can only imagine Vince personally holding the detonator backstage and slamming on that button, going, "You're fired."
Hey, it's funny. It's fireworks. You fire them off. Yes.
You see what I did there? Anyway,
the jokes are a lot funnier when I explain them.
Oh yes, absolutely. That's the key to comedy right there. Do you get is making sure the jokes are thoroughly explained. Otherwise, how do you know someone gets them? Do you get it? Do you get the joke? Do you get this? Goes on like this for another 20 pages.
I'm glad that you went there.
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
Yeah, so first match, Chris Benoit versus Orlando Jordan for the United States Championship.
That sounds riveting.
In an entire 25 seconds, Chris Benoit gets in the crippler crossface and taps out Orlando Jordan and wins. Not kidding. He just wins in 20 seconds.
I do appreciate that Orlando Jordan's entire role here is... Wait, no, hold up. No, I was getting him mixed up. Fuck, no, that's not the JBL cabinet boy.
No, yes, he is.
Oh, that is? Okay.
That is the cabinet boy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I appreciate that his whole role is just to be a bitch. That's his whole role. Like, he is painted to be the most ineffectual motherfucker ever. And why does JBL hire him? I don't know. He doesn't seem like he's that adept at cheating, honestly. I guess it's just hard to find political interns these days.
JBL pays for loyalty and not anything else.
I think it's just I think the political intern market is just kind of small these days, you know.
You'd think. I mean, he's in DC. Surely he can find a staff intern somewhere.
Yes, but can he find a staff intern with muscles?
That is tough.
That's true. See that's the problem is when you get to that cross section, you know.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so squashed ass bitch Orlando Jordan, womp womp wompity womp.
Yeah. So then after that we go backstage to Eddie Guerrero. He is lacing up his boots in the locker room, and Vicky comes in and is like, "We need to talk."
Vicky is here to be objectively correct.
And Eddie's like, I'm done. No, I'm done talking. We no more talking. We're done. And Vicky's like, you may be done talking, but I'm not. And she's up front. It's like, this isn't about Dominik. It's about beating Ray, Eddie. And Eddie is like, hey, no. I mean, it is also a little bit about that.
It is also he does.
But it is primarily about Dominik. Mostly.
Oh yeah. Which. Oh yeah. See. Here's the thing. Like, I feel like there is a part of this that is legitimately about Dominik for Eddie, but more of like the I just want a protege. You dumb wife, you cursed me with 2 daughters. Where is my big masculine son who I can train to follow in my legacy?
I was gonna ask you if you thought there was some part of Eddie that gaslit himself into also thinking this is about Dominik. Like at some point he bought his own bullshit about it.
No. And I will explain why when we actually talk about the match, but no. I think Eddie knows like it's disingenuous, and I think he also just finds it convenient that Dom could make for a good protege.
Okay.
I think you can have those two things and not have them be mutually exclusive, because I think he would like a convenient protege in Dom, and also I think he doesn't fully like believe his bullshit here. I think there's everything from Eddie seems too calculated here. I would believe it under different circumstances, and I'll talk about this more when we actually cover the match. But yes.
Okay. But Eddie is like, I need someone to carry the Guerrero legacy, and he's like, you're crazy if you think I'm doing this just to hurt Ray and his family. You're crazier than me.
Yeah, which to his credit would turn out to be true in the long run, but like right now, no. And as soon as I wrote the note that he would be right about Vicky being crazier than him in the long run, I kind of stopped and realized the modern Vicky character is actually kind of a perfect way to honor Eddie's legacy. Now that I think about it, like Vicky is her own Guerrero. Like she is very
like
much...
every other Guerrero cannot be trusted.
Yeah, no, like I never really thought about this before, but yeah, current Vicky is a really good like homage to Eddie. Like she carries on his evil bullshit heel work in a way. I've never thought of that before, and it's kind of like neat to think about it. It's almost certainly intentional on her part.
Yeah. So Vicky is like, she reaffirms she loves Eddie, and is like, in deep inside you there is a wonderful man, and that wonderful man will not let you defeat Ray or hurt Ray's family. And of course, Eddie is like, "Oh, so you think I can't beat Ray either, huh? Everyone thinks that, huh?"
I am once again begging Eddie Guerrero to go the fuck to therapy.
Oh, I can't wait to tell you how this storyline ends, because I
Wait,
looked it up.
It ends after this?
Yes, I looked it up because I was curious what Eddie did after this SummerSlam, and I found some more information. This concludes the dumbest that part that everyone knows, but there is one more little bit thing at the end of this arc that I will bring up.
Shit. Well, I look forward to hearing about it, and that might play in well to kind of my final thoughts about the way the arc ends. Okay.
I think it will affect how you might. It could potentially change your thoughts. So Eddie is like, I wrote this quote down because I thought it was so ridiculous. I needed to get it.
I think I probably also wrote this quote down.
Since you're not being that great of a support, why don't you turn around and just support on out of here?
What? Okay.
What does that mean?
To quote the it hurts me to say this. To quote the great and cosmic wisdom of friend of the show Dominik Bianchi. I can't believe I'm actually finding some value in this stupid fucking phrase. Or I guess more to paraphrase him. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but it's evocative. It gets the people going.
I was like, why don't you turn around and just support on out of here?
Support. It gets the people going.
I had to rewind and make sure I got that exactly.
I did the exact same thing because I was like, did he just use support as like a clever word reversal that wasn't actually clever and made actually zero sense? And yes, he did. Like, when I said Eddie Guerrero, when I remarked last time that Eddie Guerrero is legitimately very good on mic, that does not mean everything he said is insanely well thought through. It means he's good at being evocative. That there's a difference, people.
Well, I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? But yeah.
Pure magic. Gone too soon.
Yeah, so Vicky does leave, and then Eddie sits down in the chair, and he's like, I can beat Rey Mysterio. I will beat Rey Mysterio.
Yeah,
I'm gonna beat Rey Mysterio.
No, see, that's the thing. Is the fact that he's sitting there repeating that is what makes me feel as though he knows exactly what this is really about. He knows this is not really about Dominik. That is one of the many things that contributes to me thinking that nah. He knows exactly what the fuck he's doing. The fact that he's going he's not going, I will get Dominik. He's going, I will beat Rey Mysterio.
Okay, that's fair. Then the second match on the show that I also am the only one who watched it is Edge versus Matt Hardy. This match the story is cringe as fuck, honestly. I hate, like, this is one of those times. It's bringing in real life drama into wrestling is one of those things that I have extremely mixed feelings about. Because
I'm well aware.
Like, I hate work shoots real bad.
I know. We have our discourse about this.
Right, but it's like I feel like it would be unfair for me to say it sucked, that like bringing in real life drama and not letting it be a completely fictionalized TV show would be unfair of me, because there are storylines in wrestling that I like that use real life drama and emotion effectively. But this is one of those storylines that I feel justifies me in hating it, because it's basically Matt Hardy IRL got cheated on by Lita with Edge, and their solution is
Wait, I didn't realize there was the IRL cheating involved in this. What the fuck?
Yeah, like I said in the front half, it was Matt Hardy and Lita were dating IRL, and then Matt Hardy got injured, and then while Matt Hardy was injured, Lita and Edge started hooking up.
I thought that part was kayfabe.
No, that part was entirely IRL.
What the fuck?
So they present that as happening in storyline, and also but the thing is, Edge has a lot of potential as a new top heel because of this. So Matt Hardy just gets treated like a bitch. And that is best encapsulated by this match, where it ends with Edge throws Matt Hardy face first into the ring post. Matt Hardy starts bleeding, and Edge just punches him some more, and then the ref calls the match as Matt Hardy is unable to continue.
So I assume that's worked.
Yes, that is a work.
Okay.
This is not a shoot. As far as I know, this was not a shoot, botch, fuck up, or anything. They just made Matt Hardy look like a little bitch baby for getting his ass kicked too hard. He can't even finish the match.
See, I can understand the instinct to do that with a rising top heel, but like, you don't do that with every rising top heel. You do that shit with like monster heel.
Yeah, it's so bad for Edge. Edge, as we will learn, is best as the sniveling opportunist heel. Like, he is not the kind of guy who beats you so bad you can't continue. He is like the guy that punches you in the balls. And
yeah, like Old Man Edge these days is a little more, from what I gather, is a little more kind of like hardened badass. But
yeah, but in that like grizzled old man.
Yeah, exactly. Like, whether he's starting Judgment Day or kicking all of Judgment Day's asses for turning on him, like he's got like that. He's got like, yeah, the grizzled old man vibes of like, I've been around the block and I've seen some shit. I can wreck all your. The early Edge does not seem like the monster heel type, and it does feel really disrespectful to Matt Hardy to treat him like that, especially if he doesn't get any reprisal out of it.
No. I mean, maybe he beats Edge at some point. I don't know. But listen, this story's the most famous part of this angle is where he gets fired for bitching about him publicly making a stink about how Lita cheated on him with Edge. WWE's like, well, you're fired. Get the fuck out. And then they bring him back just to have him put over Edge. So
what the fuck? That's psychotic.
Whole story's fucked. Whole storyline's fucked.
See, I would find the work shootiness of this tolerable if it was Lita cheated on Hardy while he was injured, and then Hardy came back and like the truth came out and like they all kind of like dealt with it and it got smoothed over IRL and then they made a story of it. The fact that it was still very much an unresolved open wound
it was
that
very
WWE exacerbated by firing Matt Hardy for publicly being upset that his girlfriend cheated on him is insane. That is psychotic.
Oh,
what?
Absolutely, it is.
Fuck.
It's nuts.
See, this is one of those times where I can agree with you and be like, "Fuck work shoots."
Yeah, it's terrible. I agree. If this had been a situation where they'd all gotten over it, had time to process and really talk out everything, and then they made a storyline out of it, sure. But no, this was right on the heels.
Don't get me wrong. It still would have been a dumb. It still would have been a cringy ass story to roll with. I hate this like fighting over the girl trope in wrestling, but like it would have been far less offensive to poor Matt than what really happened. Oh
Yeah.
no, man! You wonder why he doesn't work with the Fed anymore.
Oh well, that's just because they think he's too old and decrepit to wrestle.
I feel, but he hasn't been with them in a hot. Well, I guess they.
No,
he
is.
Tend to.
He went like he came back, and then he went to Impact, then he came back to WWE, then he left, and now is in AEW. So it's long been smoothed over.
Okay, yeah, no, but there. I all this to say, WWE can sometimes diagnose people with old kind of early in their careers, relatively. So I wouldn't be surprised if at like 30 they're like, actually no, you're too old. Fuck you.
Get out. We're done.
Yeah, I diagnose you with old.
Yeah. So Edge wins.
Hey, Hulk Hogan, you want to come back for a match? Great, walk on in, buddy.
Oh yeah, brother.
Oh man, we'll get there.
I can barely feel my legs anymore, brother. It's fine. Can you still do the leg drop? I guess, dude.
Oh my god.
All right, the next match is Ray and Eddie. We are saving that till the end.
Till the end. Yep.
So I have to scroll through so many notes.
I have to scroll through so many notes too.
All right. Then after that match, we get an interview with Chris Jericho talking about his upcoming match with John Cena. He's basically just like, John Cena's song says his time is now. Well, no, my time is now. Waka wakity waka waka.
Jesus Christ, Jericho.
It's not his best material. No.
Jericho's best material is when he's intentionally being a dipshit. Jericho's another member of that Nightmare Commentary Blunt rotation where he just says shit and you're like, what? Why is your mouth moving? Stop it. Stop. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Don't.
So then the fourth match on the show, again, they really front loaded the Raw matches here. So we get a lot of matches. We just keep talking about the matches that only I watched before we get to anything David did. But it's Kurt Angle versus Eugene. I don't think I realized that Eugene had Christy Hemme as a cheerleader with him. I guess the varsity jacket he wears makes more sense now. Not that I ever thought too hard about it.
I feel like thinking about Eugene at all is a dangerous activity for one's mental state.
Yeah. So Kurt Angle, him and Eugene, it's basically Eugene. Like Eugene has some surprises. Kurt Angle doesn't take Eugene seriously, and so Eugene gets some surprises on him. Part of Eugene's gimmick is that he is like a big wrestling mark.
Yeah.
Yes, but not just a savant, but also a big wrestling mark. So like, he does all of the moves of his favorite wrestlers. Like he hits Kurt Angle with the rock bottom, and then he hits them with the Stone Cold Stunner. That's another part of the angle there.
That could actually be a cute thing to do if it wasn't attached to the goddamn Eugene character. No.
So
that'd actually be really cute. No. Fuck.
And so basically, Eugene gets Kurt Angle in Angle's ankle lock, and Kurt Angle escapes it, and he's like, okay, enough of this. Okay, time to take this seriously. And so he hits him with the angle slam and the ankle lock for the win. It's not surprising. The match was for Kurt Angle's Olympic gold medal.
I somehow doubt they were going to hand that shit over.
So after the match, Kurt Angle acquires
handing
a
over
steel
Angle's
chair.
whole identity. God damn.
So after the match, Kurt Angle hands over a steel chair, gets a steel chair, and like he threatens to hit Eugene with it, but instead he just tosses Eugene out of the ring. And what Angle does with the chair is he sets it up in the ring. He stands on the chair and demands the referee put his Olympic medal on him as if he was on the podium at the 96 Olympics again.
Jesus Christ. I love how this company is marked by so many dudes who both in and out of kayfabe. In and or out of kayfabe, I should say, because I think Kurt Angle's actually a chill dude IRL from everything I know.
From what I've seen, yeah.
Yeah, I love how this whole company is marked by people who both in and or out of kayfabe are just deeply insecure about the everything. So many insecure men. The WWE is it's just a magnet for dudes who would rather like put their bodies through hell and back rather than just going to fucking therapy. Holy shit,
Yeah.
dude.
So this seems to be part of like transitioning Kurt Angle into being like a violent sociopathic heel. Something similar, more similar to what he was doing in TNA. Because
Yeah.
because obviously we've talked about and seen that like his original heel character was more like, you know what's bad for the youth of today? Masturbation.
Yes.
And they're like, boo.
they're like, fuck you. I'm gonna go home and jack off to pictures of Kelly just to spite you. I don't know. Kelly wouldn't have been around here.
No,
I don't
not
know.
even close.
Whoever the fuck would have been around back
But
back
yeah,
then.
like he was some like howdy doody dork, and now and then but in like after he turns face again and then turns back heel, he starts becoming more like more of a vicious, violent character. And they play that idea up a lot on commentary for this match. Is that like
an insane bastard?
Yeah, he's becoming a different kind of a guy these days.
So he wasn't in TNA for terribly long, then, was he?
He was, but he wasn't for TNA for a long time. But he doesn't join until like 2006, 2007.
Oh, okay.
Like that.
So evil, violent, sociopath, Kurt Angle in WWE is not a response to to his TNA persona. It was like the progenitor to his DNA persona. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, I got my dates mixed up there.
Sure. So, and then, okay, after the Kurt Angle match, we get a skit where all the women in the company are in bikinis and doing a sexy car wash on a limo. And they're doing all the things you'd expect from a sexy car wash.
Wait, fuck, weren't we literally getting ads
I was
for
talking
this sort of
about I talked to you about this, but also you're right. They did do kind of ad stuff with this a little bit.
Yeah, no. Because I fucking remember seeing the ads that were like the superstars in bikinis for SummerSlam. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, they paid that shit off with an actual skit.
Yes.
Fuck you.
So they're just hanging out in the parking lot, watching this limo, getting soap and water all over each other in a sexy way. And then we pan eventually to the back end of the limo, and on the limo is the presidential seal. And they're like, oh my God, is that the president's limo? And then they roll the window down, and Vince is in the back seat of the limo. And Vince McMahon just looks directly at the camera, and he just goes, hey, why not? And then dun, 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 as the limo drives off, and you see the back bumper of the limo, and it has a McMahon for president bumper sticker.
What fuck was this part of like the time when there was a McMahon political campaign going on?
No, that was in 2009. This was 2008, 2010 were when Linda tried to get into the Senate. This is just because they're in DC.
Vince is planting subliminal messages for the electorate. Vincent W. McMahon.
Yeah, I was actually curious. Are you like allowed to just put the presidential seal on your own car?
Like, I mean, it is probably not, but also this is probably on like a somewhat closed set or something.
I don't know. Like I was trying to think, like, are they breaking the law? Did George W. Bush lend Vince his limousine for the night?
Oh, that would be a twist of tables. Vince is normally the one lending his fucking limo out. Now he's got to be the rentee of the limo. Oh my God! Wait, Vince would lend his limo out to $1 Million Man as his self-insert. Is Vince McMahon George W. Bush's self-insert in the WWE?
Oh no. But what as I ponder a terrible, evil future timeline where Vince McMahon ran for and became the president in 2008 instead of Barack Obama.
Ooh, baby.
We move to the next match. The gong hits, and I no longer have to think about the worst possible timeline for 2008.
The gong hits, and somehow I'm not nearly as terrified of the Undertaker as I am of this very hypothetical scenario you just shoved non-consentfully into my mind.
I apologize.
No, you don't. Fuck you.
No, I guess I really don't.
Yeah, man, the gong hits, and Jesus Christ, the crowds really just do go nuclear every single time for Taker. How did we get here? Taker was easily one of the goofiest creations of the new generation, and now we're here, and it baffles me every time I stop to think about it.
He just kept sticking around. He stuck around through his own time to become a nostalgia act.
Yeah, he basically, the universe was like, hey, time itself was like, time for you to become a nostalgia act, and Mark Calloway just kind of went, no. Yeah,
it's like he basically he went away from the Dead Man character for like 3 years so he could be he's an all-American biker, and now like everyone loves the Dead Man again. Like, oh shit, it's just like the character from our childhoods that we really liked.
Yeah, no, it's just so insane that like every time I think about it, Undertaker as the concept is so fucking goofy.
Although we have hit the point where he has started lightly doing some MMA training, so he's got his MMA gloves on.
Yeah, I did notice that. I wondered where the MMA gloves came from.
Yeah, it's just because he started doing that MMA stuff. Training.
Did he ever actually like do any proper MMA matches?
Of course not.
Well, I'm glad. You know what? I'm glad old man Taker has a hobby. It's good for you.
Yeah, but he will soon enough start being called the best pure striker in WWE. Which, okay.
Man, look, I know I give WWE shit for leaning way too hard on the goof and not nearly enough on the, the fighting. But that doesn't mean I want them to actually like pretend like they are UFC at any point. That's not Monkey Paw. Please stop curling. That's not no.
Yep. So and then hey, give you what you say. Orton is here.
Yes.
He is
Orton is here.
We get in the ring, and as soon as the bell rings, Orton heads to the outside.
Pretty much.
Classic heel shenanigans.
Also, there's as the match starts up, they show signs in the crowd of the RIP RKO thing, and the announcers are talking about the RIP RKO thing, and like, I can't remember who it was, if it was Taz or Cole, but one of them's like, Taker's trying to make the RKO RIP, and I stopped and I really thought about that for a second, and as cute as like the RIP RKO thing is, because like, it's the 3-letter acronyms for both of them, when you really start talking about it like that, it's not like RKO is an alternate name for Orton, it's just his finisher. So like, well, wait, it is his initials. Okay, wait, no, never mind. Because I was gonna say, it just makes it sound like they're trying to retire the actual finisher, but okay, no, that is his initials. Fuck.
But it's not a nickname he goes by. He doesn't go by RKO Randy.
Yeah,
Orton.
So it does sound a little bit like the Undertaker's just trying to make Orton like retire his finisher. Get a new move,
Randy.
The stipulation is if Taker wins, Randy can never use the RKO again. Fuck, that would have been like an actually cool like.
In a story that is entirely about legacy, it could have worked.
Because the current way they're doing it is Randy Orton being an overdramatic bitch. At least with having to retire the RKO, he would have there would have been something material there to latch onto instead of him just being like, if I lose to Taker, my career is over. Shut the fuck up.
Maybe if Undertaker could be bothered to show up to do any talking besides his RIP PowerPoints, this is a plot idea they could have done.
But I feel like they still could have communicated. I don't know, whatever. Dumb. Anyway, yeah, we start off the match and Orton goes to the outside because he's trying to be a crafty motherfucker, I guess.
Yeah, but then he gets back in the ring and Taker slaps the shit out of him, and I audibly laugh at it.
Oh my god. They start Taz comments on some move that Taker does to Orton early on. I can't remember what it was. It wasn't a suplex for once, but it was something else. And I kind of maybe I've brought this up before, but something I really stopped to notice that hearing Taz talk about whatever move, Taz is there are few announcers more adept than Taz at putting over work. He speaks so authoritatively and eloquently about in-ring moves, and he has the in-ring background to back it up. If you put Taz on commentary and he's allowed to actually talk about work, there is none finer to make the audience understand the impact of any given move. He's so fucking good at that. It's such a cool skill for him to have.
And I think it's kind of underrated because Taz is usually thought of as a funny guy on commentary, and he is.
He's hilarious.
His rant about Jillian Hall's mole is more what people think of when they think of Taz on commentary.
Yeah, or him just frothing out going, I fucking hate that Orange Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, he's actually I just wanted to give him props for that because that's a cool skill to have. Also, the Brian Hebner, we have a baby Hebner here. I didn't realize that was an option.
Yeah, Hebner's everywhere.
Hebner, it's the family business. Reffing for pretend fights.
Yeah,
we didn't say it was a particularly normal family business. Yeah, so
it's the family business. Yeah, but the early match is a lot of just them punching each other back and forth, real knockdown, drag out fight, as they might say.
Yes, and it's also a lot of Undertaker working the shoulder because Randy Orton was in a fight with I can't remember who recently that fucked with his shoulder, and man. One of my favorite silly in-ring tropes is just the vaguely working of the vaguely worn-out limb. Monstrous, I say.
So much in-ring psychology built on this one basic concept.
You gotta have smart wrestling. They gotta hurt limb. You gotta hurt that limb more. It'll devastate them. No one ever comes back.
This feels like the best time for me to bring up is at one time when Kenny Omega was training in WWE's training developmental. The head trainer Bill DeMott, noted dickhead, was giving him shit.
Did Omega get him fired, or didn't Cutler get him fired, or something like that?
No, Kenny didn't have anything to do with Bill DeMott being fired, but he also would attest to Bill DeMott being an abusive dick. But
maybe, I don't know.
Ryan Nemeth is who you're thinking of, as who had something to do with that.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he kind of fell off the face of the earth for a hot second because of that. But anyway, Kenny Omega is in Deep South Wrestling, which is what WWE's developmental at the time was. And Bill DeMott is getting on his ass about psychology and working limbs. And Kenny's like, okay. And he would proceed to then wrestle a match in developmental during a training session where he was working over an ass. He was working over the ass.
What a king. I would I'd let Kenny Omega work my ass any day. Are you kidding me? God damn. What a fucking kid. See, that just gives me an image of an entire match of Kenny Omega having someone just bend over his knee and smacking their ass a bunch.
Like him just doing nothing but ass attack offense
Ass
to the
face
ass.
offense, the best kind of offense.
Yeah, it's hysterical. It's a very funny story.
That's so great. Also, talking about the working the limb psychology, I made the joke of no one ever comes back from this. Because a lot of times like people get the limb worked and they end up the victor. This makes me think I would love to like start collecting data on like the best like trope predictors of victory. Like how many times like basically like is working the limb is someone working your limb a predictor for you getting the dub, or like is like how many times does like the can they coexist narrative on commentary for a tag team indicate their loss? Like I'd love to see like what the best predictors are, because I feel like working the limb is actually a great predictor for if someone's gonna win a match. Because I've seen very few times
it's pure. Well, it's purely a heel move to do. Like
not
baby
well, okay,
faces.
yes,
Baby faces do not generally work limbs because it's all about like the extremely basic plot structure of bad guy winning, baby face, good guy make comeback win. So it's extremely rare to see like a baby face work a limb.
Yeah, pretty much. But well, I feel like in this day and age, like
yeah, I think it's a little more. It can be a little more balanced out, I guess. Yeah, you're right. But like traditionally speaking, that's your job as a babyface is to get worked. You don't do the working.
That's fair. But okay, anyway, so yes, the shoulder is being worked, and also something else I noticed. This is just kind of more of a random observation. I kind of realized I don't think we've seen all that much in-ring Orton before on the show, and now we've like had him 2 weeks in a row.
No, we have not.
Yeah, I don't know if we'd seen him in-ring ever on the show before last week.
I think our first episode had Orton versus Daniel Bryan. I think that sounds right in my head, but I could be wrong. Yes, it did, because this was when there was a whole curve thing with the kendo stick and hardcore fights. I remember that because I remember that episode had that thing on it. But other than that, have we watched Orton wrestle before on this show? And you're right.
Seen like promos from him.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You're right.
It's been extremely like sparing.
Mm-hmm.
All this to say, but now we've got him 2 weeks in a row. So much flopping.
Mm-hmm. Now this is pre-Viper, so he's not doing it to like because he's a snakety snake.
I mean, I think Orton just flops because he finds it fun. The way he sells, I think he just gets a kick out of the way he sells, and that's why he does it. Like every time he sells, he looks like he's having fun doing it.
Mm-hmm. So the match kind of turns the corner where Taker goes for the big boot in the corner. Orton ducks out of it and then like and Taker gets like his legs stuck in the ropes, and then Orton just starts attacking the leg.
Yes. Oh my god.
So yes, now
it is time.
It's time to work a limb.
It's time to work the limbs, baby. Orton's working the limb now. He's decided, hey, Taker, you know your leg? Fuck your leg. So he's doing everything in his power to break that shit. He gets Taker's leg up on the rope and stomps down on it. Gets Taker's leg back up on the rope, stomps down it again. Does that shit a third time because he can. And everyone on commentary is like, oh, he's fucking up the leg.
He takes Undertaker's leg, rolls up his pant leg, which I thought was fucking weird. I don't think I've ever seen Undertaker's bare legs. And
that's such a wild observation.
And that was my first thought when I was seeing when he see the rolled up pants. I was like, what
am I looking at? Creature of constant surprises. You have legs. the concept of the Undertaker having legs is so far versus Randy Orton, who we are keenly aware he has legs because he never wears pants. This truly is a battle of perfect opposites.
Sorry, I had to recover there.
No, you're fine
for a second. But as I was saying, he rolls up the pant leg because he he has like a brace on the knee, and he pulls the brace over, and then he wraps Undertaker's leg around the ring post.
Yes. Oh my god, that was so fucked. There was something that it might have happened earlier. Taker did like a move that commentary chalked up as like classic Taker. Where like I don't remember exactly what the exact like technical outcome was. I just know that Mark Calloway went fucking flying halfway across the ring to like do something to Randy Orton.
Is either a clothesline or he did the jump off the top rope.
Yes, it was the jump off the top rope.
That's later in the match.
Okay.
I do have a note of when he does it. But I made a note of one time Orton literally pins Mark Calloway while trying to Undertaker. Jesus, you got me saying it.
Same difference.
I mean, it is, but I try to keep kayfabe names here. So Orton pins the Undertaker with a leg lock. And I was like, whoa, I don't think I've ever seen anyone like pin a guy off of like in a leg lock sequence.
Is this like when he
like
keeps,
he was like Steve going up for they talk about how like he has like a half of a figure four, but he just like has his leg up in the air, but he has his shoulders down, so the ref counts a pin on that. I've
seen shit like that done with figure fours. I think we saw shit like that in Women's Revolution, but not like in that exact formation. Yeah, no,
like he just had the leg pulled up. He wasn't really doing anything else.
That's fair. That is, I always enjoy that kind of pin where like the person has to just like they're not having their like shoulders covered, so they have to like pop up of their own volition. I always find that kind of cool.
Yeah, and then but Taker does when Orton is doing like the stomp on the leg in the ropes thing. Taker uses his good leg to boot Orton out of the ring, and he throws Orton into the steps. And Taker tries to do like his signature moves. Now he does like the leg drop on the apron. Mm-hmm. But afterwards he's like, my leg. And then he goes
his leg got worked, baby.
And then he goes for the old school, which is when he goes up and tightrope walks on the top rope.
Yes.
And then he jumps down to hit him with a bit of a clothesline to Randy Orton.
That shit looked so sick, dude.
But then he's got to
Undertaker's mass flying through the ring is always just man.
Yeah. But man, after he did it, the knee buckled.
Oh no, not all the body part working, man. It's here.
And then I was like, Taker hits a flatliner.
I guess.
I've never seen him do that before, and I'm like,
I mean, it makes sense for a death-based character.
Now that you mention it, but it's only called the flatliner because Mil Muertes does it.
Oh, I thought that was a more popular. Oh, well then never mind.
I mean, no, that name comes from Mil Muertes, so I was like, what? Undertaker does it in 2005?
I mean, Mil is clearly an Undertaker send up, so I wouldn't be surprised if like a young Mil was like taking notes and like, oh.
So then Taker goes for the snake eyes, which is where he picks up Orton and dumps him head first into the turnbuckle.
Yes.
But then as he goes to then do the next part of the setup is a big boot. Orton hits a drop kick, and then Orton goes for the RKO, but Taker counters. We get a really cool sequence after this. But
holy shit! Okay, no! The fucking way that that Taker, if I'm thinking of that's the one where like catches him out of midair, right? Like,
I mean, that's how you counter the RKO is he jumps up at you and you just like push him off.
Just the way I think it's just because of the Taker physicality. Like that's like the coolest counter to the RKO I've ever seen. Also, if we're at that part of the match, there's a lot of shit that I missed.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. No, so I must have been thinking of a time way earlier when Taker went flying because I thought I would remember. Anyway, a few things that I want to talk about. Man, Does Brian Hebner still ref with WWE, or does he do other stuff now?
Not a clue.
Yeah. Well, see, man, Brian Hebner's a little baby man, scared of Taker. Taker's got Orton in the corner, and Brian Hebner's trying to raise some kind of protest to Taker for his conduct, and Taker just kind of like looks at Hebner, and Hebner just fucking runs out of the ring. Little baby man. I can see why his dad's way more famous than he is. What else? Oh, so I think this might have been when Orton had Taker in like the halfway figure 4. Michael Cole remarks that a human being's leg is not supposed to be twisted that way, because Orton's got Taker's leg all kind of twisted.
Yeah, I mean, actually, the leg is perfectly fine being twisted.
No, I'm sure, but like Michael Cole's got to sell it. That's not what I'm commenting on this for. So, if he's saying that means The Undertaker is canonically a human being in 2005.
I mean, yeah, I think that he's an undead human being, but he's still like a human being.
I feel like that should change things though. Like, you are a zombie at that point.
He was a necromantic wizard or something or other. They, kind of just depends on the day.
He had a whole Shao Kahn phase.
And then for a few years, he just decided he was just going to be a biker guy from Texas.
He's like alive again. I sometimes think about like in kayfabe, whatever like weird rituals happen to make Taker alive again and then undead again.
I'm gonna need to reread the Undertaker comic book, see if I can figure out the lore here first.
Oh, please. I hope they have like weird retcon lore to make that all make sense.
Yep, I need to revisit.
I assume that's a Dark Horse joint.
Dark Horse did actually put out Undertaker comics, but I'm referring to the Boom Studios comic for that.
Oh shit. Either way, Boom would definitely be the type to throw in some retcons there. I could see.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to let me know. So there's a point where like Orton's got Taker literally on the ropes, and he's like trying to fuck up the leg some more. And while doing that, Taker like kind of twitches out of Orton's perfect grasp. And this somehow sends Orton flipping all the way to the outside.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's when I was talking about him using the good leg to boot Orton out. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, okay. See, they sell it on commentary as him using the good leg. I just saw Undertaker like vaguely twitch, and Orton goes, "Whoa!"
He was
up and over.
Orton was just sharing notes with Shawn about how to sell tonight.
Oh, well, yeah. See, okay, so here's the thing. I want to talk about this. Orton is like, I watching this match, Randy Orton actually is a pretty perfect opponent for the Taker. Like, on a whole, Randy Orton is an exceptional like technician. He's versatile. He works exceptionally well with like any of the people you put him in a ring with, any of the legends that he kills. Like, as fucking goofy as it was to have him facing off against Kamala, who looked the exact same as he did back in the golden age, like he worked well in ring with Kamala. So like, A, he's got the versatility to make it work, and B, like his goofy ass flop selling is actually feels proportional to like taking hits from Taker here. Like, aside from that one sell, which to my mind was goofy because I didn't see any boot come up, but I could have just missed something. Like, Orton selling like that for Taker actually does work pretty well, because like Taker's big scary monster man who hits super hard. So Orton doing his whole like, oh, I'm stumbling around, like that's actually a really fitting sell for Taker. Mm-hmm. They're uniquely suited for each other in that way, and I do very much appreciate that.
Yeah. So after the RKO counter, Taker gets Orton up in a tombstone, and then Orton rolls around, like reverses it, so now he has Undertaker in a pile driver position, but then Undertaker reverses it and has Orton in the pile driver again, and then Orton breaks out of it and hits him with a neck breaker.
Yo, that was such a sweet sequence, dude.
Mhm.
Holy
Oh yeah.
fuck.
And then Randy Orton goes to the top rope for reasons. He never goes to the top rope, but
We've had a lot of that in recent weeks. Of
we
like,
have.
he went to the top rope. He could do that. That's an option.
So he goes for a crossbody off the top, and Taker rolls through it, grabs him by the throat, hits the choke slam, and then some dude just runs in the ring.
Yeah, and like they're selling this as some kind of work, and I was like, is this a work? But also like
They almost
weird.
convinced me that this was not part of the storyline.
They did get me a little bit. There were things I was still sussy about, but I was like, I could see it as like, this could legitimately be like a work. The only thing that like the few things that made me sussy was that it played in quite well to what happened next, and also like security was being like weirdly gentle with the dude, as opposed to like that time we saw some random motherfucker run into the ring to hug Roddy Piper and then get absolutely blackbagged.
Oh yeah, they're just like, hey, get out of the ring, and then Taker walks over.
There should be 20 dudes like pummeling this man.
Yeah,
human
Taker
dog
like
pile.
goozles him in the neck, and then drops him, and then the old guy's like, all right, I'll leave then. But in all this kerfuffle, Orton gets back up and hits Undertaker with the RKO.
Well, it's not quite. Win. It's Orton kind of plays possum. Taker gets Orton up, and then Orton's like, surprise, bitch, RKO.
You're right. So Orton hits the RKO for the win, and then he goes up to the ramp where the old guy is still being escorted from the ring. And the old guy pulls off his wig and starts trying to pull his prosthetic off.
It was, oh my god, it was so awkward. They struggled so hard with that.
Yeah,
shit.
It was.
Orton thought he could get a really clean peel.
Yeah,
and it all just started like individually chipping, and he was like,
just patchy. It's patchy as fuck, but it is revealed it is Cowboy Bob Orton, Randy's father.
Yeah, so apparently Randy Orton got the Steven Crowder treatment when it came to winning this match. You'll love to see it. Why? What the fuck?
Because the storyline will continue with Bob Orton involved now. Fun fact, Bob Orton and Undertaker have a match together, and there's a blading, and this was controversial because old Bob Orton had hepatitis and didn't tell anybody. And yet they had a match where Bob bladed.
Wait, hold the fuck. We didn't get blading out of the Orton Taker match, but we got blading out of the Taker Bob Orton match?
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yep. And Bob Orton had hepatitis, didn't tell anybody, and Taker was pissed.
Yeah, I don't blame him. And this is also, I will note, the days where refs weren't like putting on gloves every time there was the slightest drop of blood in the ring. Because later on in the main event, oh man, as soon as the blood starts coming out, my man that ref takes that shit with bare hands, baby. So
contaminants, what's that?
Bloodborne pathogens. I don't even know what half those words mean.
So Bob Orton and Randy Orton both do like the pose together at the top of the ramp. Taker's pissed, and Taker does not fall for the invisible wall. He leaves the ring and goes to go chase them the fuck down.
I will say, what cracked me up though was, so he's walking up the ramp. He picks up the wig that Cowboy Bob was wearing, and like glares down at it, and then does like the eye roll back thing.
He picks up the wig and then he eye rolls.
I have never seen someone get so mad over a wig before.
That was hysterical.
That was so good. Yes, so that was actually a really sick match. It was. That memeing
about limb work aside, it was a really good match.
One of the
better matches on the show.
Easy, definitely. But now it's time for the dumb match of
hold your horses.
Not the dumb match, but like The dumb. Oh, is there another thing that I skipped?
Yes, the last match that you skipped, John Cena versus Chris Jericho.
Oh, hey!
It was bleh.
Oh, no.
Because John Cena is not good enough to be having good matches with people yet.
People specifically. He can have a great match with a sandbag.
Oh, of course. But yeah, he's not good enough to be able to like do his end of the work with Jericho at this point. That's part of what people turn on him about, is because they put him in there with these really good in-ring wrestlers and he beats them and the matches suck. But Cena wins, LOL. I don't know what you thought was going to happen here.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen.
There was there wasn't really any bullshit though. Like, as much as a lot of the story was revealed about like Eric Bischoff and Carlito, none of that mattered. He just beat Jericho straight up. Pretty straightforward.
Carlito. Carlito does not
spit in the face. Spit in the face guy.
Yeah, that is Santino.
Santino makes fun of him for it, but Carlito
and Santino are different people. Okay.
Yes, they are.
I get
Santino makes fun of Santino makes fun of it with the swap spit with men who are cool. But Carlito is Apple Spitter.
Is the guy who actually does the spitting?
Yes.
And then Santino comes along to swap spit. Of course. Yeah, okay. So now we get the match that is like the most.
This is the SmackDown main event of the show.
SmackDown main event. The most baffling decision JBL has ever made of, I can make this match anything I want and I'm going to make it no holds barred, as if that's not the perfect match type for Batista. Oh God. Yeah. So apparently Batista is from DC, going to get that hashtag hometown heat.
Yeah, so old Jibbles comes out of his stupid limo.
And I really noticed this during good old Jibbles' entrance. That like tunnel they have where like they have the fucking border to the tunnel where the graphics come out of, and the graphics are all kind of like flush up along this border and nothing else. That looks like really annoying to look at graphics on, to be honest. Like, I'm not doing a good job describing it, but like it's this like incline projector screen sort of thing. It's really thin and long, and they're trying to like project full images onto it. It pisses me off every time I look at it. It got dumber with every glance. Yeah, but Jibble is here, and as he exits his car, something starts falling from the ceiling, and Taz and Cole are like, oh, what's that?
They are so confused by the concept of confetti.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it must be confetti. And as soon as they say it must be confetti, I take one look at this confetti and I'm like, those are money bills with JBL's face on them, aren't they? And sure enough,
JBL bucks. $100
bill
with JBL's face on them.
And Michael Cole and Michael Cole and Taz take way too long to be like, what? It's actually money with JBL's face. Yes, thank you. We were all way ahead of you on this one.
Yeah,
catch up, please.
Batista does his entrance. He's about to go hey, yeah. And then JBL runs up to meet him, and they just start brawling over by the production equipment.
They just start fighting on the outside as you do during a blood feud.
Yeah. JBL, and they just fight all over the production area near where the ring is, and then
through some of the crowds.
JBL gets a chair and threatens to hit Batista with it, and Batista spears him through the barricade. Which was actually like really fucking cool. That was sick. So they finally do get in the ring, and the ref doesn't call for the ring of the bell. Yeah, I thought that was very confusing. I was like, what?
That must have been either we missed the bell just being rung at the beginning anyway, or the ref just forgot to call for the bell to be rung. And either way, stupid.
Yep. Yeah. So JBL goes to the timekeeper, rips his belt off, and then he uses it to whip Batista.
Yeah, I think JBL is annoyed with the timekeeper right now as I am.
As well as choking Batista out, which leads to a moment I thought was very funny. So they got Batista is being choked up against the ropes. He is like passing out as we speak. And you got the ref in here who's like, hey, Batista, do you want to stop? Do you want to stop? Come on, let me know if you want to stop.
Yeah, Batista's being actively choked out, and the ref is like, "Hey, so you're gonna you're gonna like tell me if you need anything, right?" And Batista's over here going,
just let me know.
And the ref's like, "Cool, good talk.
Just let me know if you want to give up."
Just like, absolutely. Also, Austin, while watching this, revealed himself to be a lariat purist. What a dweeb.
How dare you? But yes, JBL hits the clothesline from hell, and I remarked about how it is technically a lariat because a lariat, the difference between a clothesline and a lariat is that you swing your arm forward, whereas in a clothesline you do not.
Clothesline from hell is just a straight name for a lariat. It's fine.
Not to me, it's not.
Oh my god, you fucking purist. Goddamn knockouts, am I right?
Yeah, but then Batista kicks out of the clothesline. Wow,
no way.
That's JBL's
I love
move.
I love how in this no holds barred match, the extent we get from JBL to like get one up on Batista is threatening him with a chair, choking him out with a belt, which actually is kind of vicious, and then just clotheslining him. And that's it. Neither of these motherfuckers came to the ring with weapons.
That's true. Well, he goes to go get the stairs, and he puts the stairs in the ring, and he threatens to do a pile driver, I guess. I don't know what he was going for. But Batista body drops him, and then Batista hits a spine buster and then goes in the ropes. And then he hits a Batista bomb. And then he
not on the stairs, by the way. Not on the
stairs
like a dumbass.
But then the crowd is like, one more time. And Batista then does the Batista
has
bomb.
A whole ass moment to like come to the epiphany that he can in fact Batista bomb JBL onto the step. I don't think he considered this previously. So he's like, oh. And then he picks JBL, hits the Batista bomb one more time. 1, 2, 3, boom. Yeah, wow, that was a stupid fucking match.
It was not a good match at all.
That was not a good match at all. That was the lamest. JBL was talking all that good shit, and the most we got out of him was some light belt choking. Oh my god! No wonder this man's career flopped so fucking hard, and he had to go be a Fox News commentator or whatever.
I do not like JBL as an in-ring wrestler. I
don't like JBL at all.
Well, yes, and I'm pretty mad on Batista as an in-ring wrestler. So I guess I don't know what I could have expected to happen here, except a match I don't like.
I do not like that JBL. I do not like him very well.
I'm not finishing the rhyme because I'm not good at it. So,
damn it! I
moving on. Batista rips up a JBL buck on the way out. Roo ha ha.
And Michael Cole as he watches Batista rip up the JBL hundo, only now realize this is probably not legal tender.
Thanks, Cole.
You, Michael Cole. Oh my god.
Let's move on to the main event of this show.
The main event, the true main event happened 2 matches in. Let's be real here. But okay, yes, the main event.
The legend versus the icon. Hulk Hogan versus Shawn Michaels. And apparently one more match was a thing that people were chanting at Hogan in 2005. And frankly, I don't like to imagine that. I don't like to think of that you people were like, we need more Hulk Hogan matches.
We need more Hogan. Dude, these people were marking out so hard for Hogan. It hurt me so bad. I guess this is before that whole sex tape thing came out.
Way before.
Yeah, okay.
And even then, I don't think Hogan stopped getting cheers until never. I'm gonna say
this is true. They did have him back for WrestleMania 38 or whatever.
It
And
was
everyone
a little
super into that.
muted. It was a little muted in WrestleMania in 2021. It wasn't quite the explosive pop that you might have expected, but you know,
They're like,
Hogan's never.
shit, this
People
guy
have
again.
never stopped cheering for the Hulkster. Never.
Pain.
So, okay, the video package for this was pretty good. It did a good job of like hitting the highlights of this absolutely insane story.
We did. I did appreciate that in the midst of this video package, we got just a great shot of HBK's ass while he was putting on his gear. That was good. It was a really sick video package. I'm gonna go hang myself now for saying that, but Austin, I can't help but feel like this video package left out some crucial, shall we say, story context for why we're here.
All right, so I think this is a good before we get into the match and what happened. Let's talk about the backstory of this match that I was so wanting to talk about in the front half, but David was like, no, I want a pure interpretation of this match before we get into the backstory. And I said, okay.
I will say, I feel like watching the match, I did get a good general gist of probably what happened backstage.
So let's go. So this match,
please.
It was designed, just to be a big money dream match thing. Hogan's here and is good a shape as he could be in 05. Shawn's here and he's doing great. Why not? They've never had a chance to cross paths before. Let's go for it, you know?
They were never really in each other's sights like back in the old days.
Hogan left before Shawn was a big enough name that he would have fought Hogan. And
like
Hogan...
Mega Powers were probably a little too broken up before they could ever go up against the Rockers.
Oh, very much so. So the match the initial idea for the match was at least 2 matches. I have heard 3 sometimes, but the idea is that at least very minimum first 2 matches were going to be split between the 2 of them. And then Hogan wins the first, Shawn wins the second, and then I've heard a story of Shawn goes over the third. I've heard Shawn, in trying to get Hogan to do the feud, offered to put Hogan over in the third match. Either way, the point is it's supposed to be a multi-feud, multi-month kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Hogan said, let me tell you something, brother. My back is not feeling up to multiple matches here, dude. So I think that we're going to need to cut this down to 1 match.
Single
and
match.
I go over. That's how that's going to have to work.
That's how that's going to go, brother.
So
otherwise, Shawn, say it with me. That's not going to work for me, brother.
Shawn learned the hard way that he was a politic and little bastard because of the help of the Clique and the specific need that the specific kind of desperation that Vince felt in the late 90s, afraid that Shawn was going to jump ship to WCW.
Yes.
He has never dealt with someone who just politics for the sake of politicking. like Hulk Hogan. Hogan never needed no help. He never needed no buddies to back him up. He just did it himself, and Michaels
fucking if anything, the League of Hogan friends brought Hogan's profile down. None of them were ever on his level ever. And Shawn Michaels over here getting all cocky because he was the reason for the Montreal screw job. His politicking helped pull off one of the most infamous moments in all of wrestling history ever. Completely taking out of context the fact that the Montreal Screwjob was born out of pure desperation on Vince's part and a whole fucking complicated situation with Bret Hart. Whereas Hogan is the most popular.
Shawn fucked Bret by being a little dickhead and pissing Bret off when Bret had creative control in his contract. Hogan fucked Brett by just being like, that don't work. I'll put you over later, brother. Later. Sorry, that don't work for me, brother.
Yeah. Hogan's great at cashing IOUs that never came in. No, but like yeah, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, I think just maybe forgot that Hulk Hogan is the single biggest name to ever come out of pro wrestling ever, and Shawn Michaels, legend though he may be, is not.
Yep. So he got fucked by this whole arc backstage. It was going to be a whole thing. Hogan, he was going to get a say. He was going to get put over by Hulk Hogan, and Hogan said, "No way, dude.
No way, dude.
We're doing one match, and I'm going over.
And I'm going over, brother."
So Shawn decided, well, if I am expected to put over Hulk Hogan tonight, put him over, I shall.
I will. Oh, and did he?
Yeah, and so that is why in my notes, and I made a comment to this to David, is Shawn Michaels, when he gets down on his knees in his entrance and starts praying, I wrote, Shawn is praying for forgiveness for what he is about to do. David, not knowing what was to come, took this to just be a remark on how, say your prayers, Hulk Hogan, beating one of the Lord's favorite wrestlers. No. I was talking about how's the cell job Shawn was about to do. That's what he's praying for forgiveness for.
Dear Jesus, let me flop harder than I've ever flopped before. Give me the flopping powers of Ric Flair.
Yeah, so Shawn comes out, and big Hogan chants start breaking out as everyone is ready for Hulk Hogan to come out. They are so many Hulk Hogan.
I will say, shout out to the like few motherfuckers in the crowd who have some collective signs that just spell out Brett. Shout out to those people and those people alone who are definitely here. Like, I wish everybody involved a very "You're Not Bret Hart."
They were rooting for the Meteor here in this main event, and I respect that.
I sympathize with that. I feel you, brothers.
Yeah, but so many Hulk Hogan signs, dude. And then he comes out, the immortal Hulk Hogan. That is his new nickname since coming back to the WWE.
I wouldn't be surprised if Hulk Hogan legitimately just thinks he's going to live forever. He's like,
and then
Hogan's die, brother.
I'm never going to die, dude. Power of Hulkamania will live forever.
Well, the faith, trust, and pixie dust of all the Hulkamaniacs out there will keep me kicking for centuries to come, dude.
Is Hulk Hogan Tinkerbell? Does he get power from shears? Is that
yes? Why do you think he was able to politic so effectively?
Some people would say that he is physically breaking down now because of the damage that the leg drop did to his body. But have you considered that actually it's because he never does work shows anymore and doesn't get pops?
He's breaking down because of the sex tape controversy. People stopped cheering him, and now he's dying.
Yes, that is a theory.
Jimmy Hart is turning to the audience and going, "I need all you little Hulkamaniacs out there to say I believe, Daddy.
I believe in Hulkamania, Daddy.
Hulkamania, Daddy." Yeah, so of course, I am a real American.
And holy shit, Hogan's pyro goes off, and a humongous American flag that covers the entire stage.
Oh my Christ. That shit.
Down.
I refer to you to my shit from earlier where I'm like, what type of dweeb brings an American flag to a wrestling show in 2005? Cue the fucking American flag that I think rivals the state of Delaware in size that they drop down from the ceiling inside of this arena. Holy fuck. Oh my God. That was something. Oh man. Yeah, there's the goddamn flag.
We do get a quick cut to Shawn in the ring while the American flag bit is going on, and Shawn is miming a shovel. He's like, Hogan, burying me, brother.
He said, He's sending messages this whole time.
Shawn
Michaels
is on his worst behavior tonight.
Shawn Michaels is like, I'm just gonna have fun with this one. Yeah. So also, Hogan enters. Something I always forget about his like modern contemporary career get up is that he comes out with multiple super fluffy feather boas. Which I look at that and I'm like, I feel like if Hulk Hogan, if Terry Bollea saw any other man wearing something like that, several slurs would fly out of his mouth. But I guess it's okay for him to wear it, dude. Yeah, there's something about Hulkamania, brother, that makes these boas real manly, dude. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, brother, I'm not one of those. Can't say that word on. I can't say that word on air.
Can't say that word on TV anymore. The wokesters might cancel the Hulkster, brother.
What's cancel culture gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you, brother?
I'll send all my little Hulkamaniacs to cancel you.
Oh. Anyway, I did make note of a Hulk Berry Crunch sign that looks like a big cereal box, but they spelled berry B-U-R-Y.
B-U-R-Y.
And yeah, of course HBK.
Oh my god. Oh, dude. Fucking people. We're in the advent of the internet. People definitely knew what was going on behind the scenes here. Meltzer was definitely reporting on this shit.
Meltzer, absolutely. I now have an Observer subscription. I should have went back and looked at what Meltzer had to say about any of this. I'm sure he had some very
quippy one-liners about Hogan practice. I'm sure he had a very quippy one-liner about something Hogan's coming for Undertaker's job with how much he's burying Shawn Michaels.
Was Brian Alvarez working with Meltzer at that point? Because I'm sure he had a very, very positive things to say.
Oh man, yeah. So Hulk gets in the ring, rips off the shirt.
And so. Yeah, let's skip on to the match now, and you can immediately tell how
they lock up, and immediately I put in my notes, oh no, it's gonna be stupid.
Yeah, David seems to have taken real offense to this match, and I am like, this is the stupidest meme. Glorious. This is the glorious meme I was hoping it would be.
No, it was great. It was hilarious. It's so stupid.
Right. So they get in the lockup. Hogan throws Shawn out of the lockup, and Shawn does like 2 flips. And because Shawn has decided that, as a little bit of a fuck you to this whole politic and nonsense here, he is going to sell like a cartoon character tonight. This is going to become a parody of Hulk Hogan matches.
Shawn's like, you want me to put you over, brother? Be careful what you wish for. I will put you all the way over to the moon, and you can drown out there without any fucking oxygen. See, except here's the thing. I went on a journey with this because I didn't fully notice at first Shawn Michaels' sell job, because I know that Shawn Michaels sometimes can just have a propensity to sell like a cartoon character. I've seen how that man goes down when he gets hit the right way. He can be goofy about it too. He belongs in the club. But like, so here's how I went on a journey with this is after my oh no it's gonna be stupid note. My next note was a couple minutes into the match because I had fuck all to say about this. I did note that they did the lockup. Hogan pushes him off. Shawn falls over himself twice and then crumples. They did that shit a second time and then kind of a third time, which just solidified that I thought it was going to be real fucking dumb. But there's this one point a couple minutes into the match, Shawn Michaels is on the outside after Hogan's like just dicking around on him.
Which I made a note of this because Shawn gets hit with a light shoulder tackle, and he tumbles forward twice and out of the ring, and then he starts throwing a hissy fit on the outside, and Hogan throws his bandana at him.
Man, it's kind of a wonder that I didn't like notice early on, like that I was able to hand wave that much, like overselling on Shawn's part. But I did have a note that was literally, maybe I'm projecting, but Shawn looks very unamused at this whole situation.
No, part of it is he's playing a heel, but also he was very unamused.
No. This wasn't like him throwing a hissy fit. This is him getting knocked to the outside, and he's just kind of like standing in the corner.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And he stands there, and
he's got this look on his face that's like, like he's not playing it up super hard. It just looks like legitimately Shawn Michaels, the real Shawn Michaels, came through, and he was like, I can't fucking believe I have to do this shit. Why did I ever let Vince talk me into this? But yeah, another note from me of just, why is this the main event?
I would hope that you caught on to what was happening here at this point that I have a note of is Hogan throws Shawn onto the top turnbuckle, and he just Shawn just stays there laying on the top turnbuckle, and Hogan kicks him, and Shawn jumps up in the air and falls back down, and they do that a couple of times until Shawn lands.
That's where I caught it, because I throw in a note as I watched like Shawn's really goofy selling of like, this is the dumber version of the selling dynamic I was talking about with the Orton Taker match. And I just made a little note that like, I need to see Shawn Michaels, Randy Orton, and Ric Flair just have a sell-off against each other. I want to see who's got the best flop. But like, yeah, it was that. So Shawn Michaels is laying on top of the ring post, and Hogan comes and gives him the weakest ass kicks up I've ever seen. And Shawn goes flying, like, and flops back down, and I make a note. This is where I make the note of, Shawn, come on, you're just making fun of this guy at this point. It's mean to make fun of delirious old men. So this is where I started to catch on. Oh, this is entirely on purpose. This is entirely Shawn just flipping Hogan the bird.
Yep. Hogan clotheslines Shawn over the top rope and out of the ring, and Shawn falls forward, spasms up until he rolls back on top, and then he falls over again.
Your descriptions of this are pure magic. I'm so glad you got it in this much detail.
I was like, I need to make notes of all the best dumb bullshit that happens in this match, because unfortunately, this is now the portion of the match where Shawn takes over and he stops selling like an idiot for a hot second.
Temporarily stop.
Yeah, so Shawn, I made a note of this, is Shawn tries to like whip Hogan into the turnbuckle pad. Hogan blocks him, is like, no, brother, and Shawn just slaps him in the face.
Yeah, pretty much. And fucking Michaels, Hogan looks deeply offended by this, and I think it was like Lawler on commentary is like, you don't do that to Hulk Hogan. I've never seen anybody slap Hulk Hogan like that ever. And I'm just over here like, good.
Yeah. So they get to the outside. Hogan body slams Michaels onto the Spanish announce table, and then just starts like punching him real hard in the face. Hogan starts going back and forth into the ring to break the count out rule. And then Shawn tears up the Spanish announce table to get up off of this table. It flips over. Hogan tosses Shawn into the ring post. Hogan gets Shawn up on his shoulder to do it again. Shawn pushes Hogan into the ring post, and Hogan proceeds to walk all the way to the other side of the ring. Shawn follows him, pushes him into the ring post on the opposite side of the ring, and then Hogan walks all the other way around to come back to the announce area.
Why did he do this? Why did he do this? I don't know. He just because he can. It just the match gets dumber with every passing second.
So then Shawn just starts punching Hogan in the face a lot, huh? Almost as if he's trying to set up for a blade job. And oh boy, does he, because Hogan pops up and he has apparently cut his entire forehead. Because
they got Hogan to blade for this? And how? Oh yeah, my man's fucking the face is immediately drenched.
Mm-hmm.
In like
Hogan
2 seconds.
Is bleeding hard.
See, you would think Hogan would be the type of guy to be like, yeah, the Hulkster doesn't bleed, brother. But like, he seems to like when he does bleed, he goes all the fuck in for it. And like, it has to be like a triumphant hero's return thing. But holy shit, dude.
So Shawn, in continuing to just make this match a parody of 80s Hulk Hogan matches, puts Hogan in a sleeper hold, and I noted how Hogan bled way the fuck all over Shawn's arm.
Oh my god, all the way down to his elbow and like dripping off. It was insane. Shawn Michaels keeps Hogan in the sleeper hold for like a solid 2 minutes.
A long time.
A long ass time. And Hogan just fades slower than molasses. The ref finally, after way too long, goes to do the like arm pickup thing with Hogan. 1, 2, and the third one, Hogan rallies. Literally how? No, that's not physically You just got choked out for like 2 minutes flat. You don't get to rally like this. Shut the fuck up.
Hogan does a back slam to Shawn to get him to let go, and Shawn starts convulsing a little bit.
My man's having a seizure. Oh god, somebody hold his head.
All right, so then Shawn starts trying to hit his signature moves. He goes for the flying forearm and then the kip up, and then he goes for the elbow drop, but he misses, and Hogan is like, you. But then Hogan goes for the big boot, and Shawn does another flying forearm, knocking Hogan over and knocking the ref over. So then he goes for another kip up. He goes to go to the elbow drop. Then he's like, nah, I got a better idea. Shawn puts Hulk Hogan in the sharpshooter.
We have another ref come to the ringside by this point, and yes, fucking Shawn sits Hogan into the sharpshooter, except that is a modified sharpshooter.
It was a very shitty sharpshooter.
It was a very blunt sharpshooter.
Yeah, it was. I think this sharpshooter. It's the gunfire was misfired. I couldn't think of it jammed. The sharpshooter jammed. That's what I meant.
Fucking yeah. I assume this was because Hulk Hogan's back was not all that up to snuff.
That and also, Shawn just can't do the sharpshooter.
How? How can you not do the sharpshooter?
Because he sucks at it. He just does.
Yeah, my man's like sticking his ass out, and it's like, no, you just do a sit. You sit on your opponent's ass. What's difficult about that?
Yeah, I imagine a lot of it was Hogan's back, but also I've never seen Shawn really do a truly good sharpshooter.
That's so. Funny. That makes the Montreal Screwjob all the funnier that Shawn Michaels fucking won with a sharpshooter that was probably poorly executed. Mm-hmm. That's funny.
Yeah, so Hogan crawls his way to the ropes. He slaps the mat a couple of times, so Jonathan Coachman is like, he tapped out, and it's like, no, he's just you can tap your hand on the mat without tapping out. That's
got to be 3 times in succession. Come on, Shawn.
Yeah, so Hogan gets to the ropes. Shawn tries to get in the sharpshooter again, and Hogan kicks Shawn off of him and knocks Shawn into the second referee.
Yeah, another ref down. Man, this is starting to feel like symbolic for the backstage struggles with deciding the match.
Yeah, so Hogan is limping hard to sell this sharpshooter, but he goes to pick up Shawn. Shawn uppercuts him in his 10-inch penis, and
and Hogan looks mildly miffed at this. Compared to all the cartoons selling that Michaels been doing this whole match, Hogan gets cheap shotted and goes, ugh.
So Shawn goes to get a chair. He stands in the corner and waits for Hogan to get up. Hogan takes 30 years to get up and turn around. And Shawn still hits him with the chair. I thought it was a setup for somebody to steal the chair. But no. Hogan's just that slow.
That back, man, it'll get you every time.
So then elbow drop from Shawn. Shawn starts tuning up the band for the sweet chin music, and then he hits Hogan with the sweet chin music. But then one, two, Hogan tosses Shawn off of him.
And then Shawn goes flying just about as far as you would expect. And he starts having another seizure. Someone should really check on him.
Hogan hulking up and Shawn
hulking up. Oh my God. This got me so hard. I'm so glad to know we're not the only ones, because he starts hulking up and he points at Shawn and the whole fucking audience goes, "You."
Incredible.
I'm so glad we're not the only ones who every single time he does that goofy ass Hulk up sequence, we're going, "You."
So Hogan does the sequence. He does hit the big boot, and Shawn rolls through halfway around the ring off the big boot.
Man, I kind of wish that Shawn had just gone like obviously this was balls to the wall. I wish Shawn had gone balls to the ceiling, I don't know, and just like made the cells like even more ridiculous. Like Hogan big boots him and Shawn just needs to somersault all over the perimeter of the ring. That would make this like true perfect performance art, and like honestly the perfect send-off match for Hogan of like, we're just gonna make fun of how goofy all your shit in the 80s was.
All right, so Shawn, yeah. Hogan hits the leg drop, and in the words of Jim Ross, Hulkamania lives.
Hulkamania lives.
This is like the ending of God's Not Dead 2, where they're like, where they get out of the courtroom and they're
not
like,
dead, he's truly alive.
Yes,
living on the inside.
Because the second movie was about a court case that eventually becomes, is God dead or not? And they come to the conclusion that God is not dead, and then there's this whole crowd of people at the courthouse being like, yeah, that's what this reminded me of. The idea of like Hulkamania lives, as if that was in question. Would a Hulkamania be dead if Shawn had just won?
Hulkamania is a tired, outdated, lethargic zombie at this point, but it still indeed lives in one form or another.
Hulkamania is in the retirement home. Potentially, it is potentially on end of life care.
Yeah, Hulkamania it's very possibly about to be transferred to hospice care.
Yes, that was the word I was trying to think of. Yeah, Hulkamania is pushing towards hospice.
We may have already been onto the grave. It may have raised back from the dead. The complete slow, confused as to why it's still around, hungry for the brains of anyone poor enough to cross its path, but damn it if it still ain't walking.
Yeah, so after the match, Hogan hot dogs for 4
We checked the timer. There is 4 whole minutes left for Hogan hot dogging.
But in the middle of it, we do get Shawn coming back in the ring and being like, I needed to know, and I found out. And he offers a handshake, and Hogan
commentary really wants to push that line to be like, see, look, there's no bad blood between them. What are the forums talking about? No.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels proceeds to turn babyface immediately after this match.
As soon as, which brings everything into question as to why he acted like he did prior. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, Hogan, the show ends out with Hogan just posing and flexing and you doing whatever.
And JR is like, yeah, when Shawn goes to shake Hogan's hand, I'm like, okay, so the hot dog is almost done. No. We got like another 2 minutes left on that shit. JR says, I forget what he said, but it said he's basically
he starts jerking off America, and he's like, "This is Americana right here."
Yeah,
Hulkamania.
and he outs himself as a shameless Hulkamaniac, the rare Jim Ross L. You hate to see it. Yeah. So yeah, that was dumb. Good thing that wasn't the main event.
Dumb in the funnest way possible, I must say.
Oh my god, no!
You absolutely need to go. If you've never seen this match, please go watch it.
Shawn Michaels deserves some like kind of postmodern theater award for the performance he put on inside that match. It was the perfect response to so much of what I fucking hate about Hulk Hogan, dude.
Yeah, so we rewind back to the third match on the show.
The real main event.
Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero for the custody of Dominik. And
yes.
I noted that Michael Cole and Taz put on their somber, serious voices.
Yes, which is funny because I watched the tiny bit before this where it was revealed that the SummerSlam theme song is Remedy by Seether, and it looks just about as 3IG5 Me as you would expect. And Michael Cole is like, yeah, it's like a super great song, and Taz is like, yeah, I fucking hear it playing. I know it's a great song. You silly girl pants. What does that mean? So we go from Taz calling Michael Cole and I cannot stress this enough, silly girl pants, to they put on their somber lay somber voices as I do the Leo pointing meme at the match graphic, because oh my god, it's finally here.
Yep, we are here
now. The match
now.
graphic that everyone has memes for, that you've seen Rhea Ripley's face photoshopped onto so many times in the past few months.
Of course. So this match, we note that Dominik has been brought ringside by the social worker.
Sorry. Also, one more thing about the match graphic. They spelled Dominik's name wrong.
How did they spell it?
They spelled it with a C. They spelled it Dominick.
Let me check something. Yes, it is not. It is not with a C.
I did double check that because I remember like looking at his name and seeing only a K, and I was like, wait, what the fuck?
I in my notes only write K but that's quicker that way. I don't know.
It feels like such a perfect encapsulation of the utter like nonsense of this story that they just flagrantly get the name of the kid that's central to this whole thing spelled wrong on the thing. Yeah, so Taz and Michael Cole put on their sad voices as they play a hype package for the match. That's sad music. Please don't think about how fucked up all of this is.
Yeah, so again, as I said, the social worker has brought Dominik ringside. Fantastic. I'm glad.
Why?
that happened.
Why is she signing off on this?
So, okay. And I made a note of this because, like, if you internet discourse about this match and this whole story arc is almost like they treat the idea of like Eddie being Dom's real father as like something that is not taken for assumed true in the story. Like, it's kind of like, I think like, because I think the way the internet has kind of like ended up looking back on this match, they forget. Like, they act like it's a question of parentage.
Nope.
Which in the story, no, it's not. They are like, not. Eddie is Dom's biological father. That is not a question at all. And that was probably the second biggest surprise to me, is how very straightforward they were about this arc. Obviously, number one was the Rey Mysterio offering.
I also have to like, wait, so other people comment on the fact that Rey fucking offered that this was Rey's idea?
Nobody brings that shit up.
Nobody brings that shit up?
And I'm like, nobody remembers that part. And I'm like, what the fuck?
See, I feel like this has had a reevaluation, though, because now that, like, in current day, Dominik is heel, like, everyone is constantly making jokes about how he takes after his real dad, Eddie Guerrero.
Now that Dom is on screen playing a heel wrestler, everyone's like, hey, just like his Poppy.
Just like his Poppy. And like it seems like they're leaning into it on TV too. Like they're like, hey, he's actually a Guerrero. Fuck you.
Yeah, but before that, that wasn't really the case before this specific Judgment Day stuff.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, but nope. It's he's Eddie's son for true. That's just how it is, baby.
Yeah, so Eddie and Ray each come out, and they each walk over to where Dom is. I wrote Dom, his facial expression never changes, and I make that note several times.
Oh, I have a couple. I have
notes about this. But Eddie just kind of like looks at him, but Ray does the thing he usually does with a kid in the crowd and does like the forehead thing at him.
Yeah, okay. Wait. I do have to make a note before we get into this. So as Eddie's coming out, Taz in his solemn, serious voice has a comment about, if I were Rey Mysterio, I couldn't fathom wrestling a match for the custody of my son. And somewhere young Hook just breathed a sigh of relief after Jimmy Snuka has been eyeing Taz for a new age rivalry.
Of course.
Absolutely. And Ray comes out on like, I forgot about this, the fucking Ray Vader.
Who's that? Because his theme is who's that jumping out the sky? So you need him to like literally be
like
popping
a fucking human toaster.
Yeah.
Which, like, okay, I do have a, like, logistic question about that, because that looks separate from the entrance ramp. So is that just, like, always there, and Ray just has to hide in it until it's, like, time, or, like, is it built over a trap door, or is it, like, connected backstage somehow,
I think it's built over a trap door. I think that's how that works.
That's so, how the fuck do these arenas all have, like, such conveniently placed trap doors? That doesn't seem, like, probable.
I'm pretty sure that's just part of their set building, though, to be able to do that.
Oh, okay. I mean, maybe. I didn't think they built up. Whatever. So yes. So Ray does the forehead thing with Dom, and then like kisses him on the forehead. So Eddie, of course, not to be outdone, goes back outside, back to Dom and the social worker, and like shakes the social worker's hand, and like Taz calls him a brown nose.
And he also like points at the contract to Dom. He's like, I'm about to win that.
And get excited, buddy.
This is where I learned that Michael Cole's sons are adopted. I did not know that.
I also noted that. That's adorable.
Because Michael Cole brings this up as part of a point of like, that doesn't make, just because he's not your Dom is not Ray's biological son doesn't make him any less of his son.
Heartbreaking. The worst person you know just made a great point. Fuck. God damn it. We are kind of like face Michael Cole right now. The worst
commentator made a good point.
We are like kind of face Michael Cole. And we're also like kind of at face Taz, at least when it comes to this angle. I love how fucking like malleable Taz's moral compass always is. Like, Taz is technically a heel commentator, but like half the time he's pretty like reasonable and just sometimes has like these biases that he's like it's almost like he remembers, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be a dick, so we'll just throw shit in sometimes. But even Taz explicitly states that he's pulling for Rey Mysterio on this one. We are meant to understand that there is no greater villainy in the WWE right now than Eddie Guerrero.
Of course, Eddie is the biggest piece of shit in the company right now,
ever in the world. Actually, fuck that guy.
So this match had two big things going on. The first of which being absolutely terrifying falls and moves done with ladders.
Oh my God. Apparently this was Ray's first ever ladder match, which like, how? But also, that's kind of sick.
Mm-hmm. And Ray was like, I will have no self-preservation in this match at all.
I don't think Rey Mysterio ever has self-preservation. He just says, fuck it, we're doing it live. And that's why I love him.
Yeah, I mean, pretty quickly into the match, Ray drop kicks a ladder that Eddie is holding, and then Ray dives from the ring to the outside, and he lands on Eddie, having jumped over the ladder that Eddie was holding.
Oh my God! There's another part earlier on where they're like up toward like I guess a little bit in. they're both on top of a ladder, and like Eddie fucking like attempts a sunset flip but botches it.
Oh
And
yes.
but
Though
like
I
also
do.
it kind of feels more fit. I'm skipping over some stuff here, but like in that vein, like this is another example of like there's some scary shit, but also like the botched sunset flip, it probably wasn't intentional. It looked like Eddie tried to execute a move and just couldn't get it.
Yeah,
But
this
like
match is kind of sloppy in a good way.
yeah, it felt more fitting, like to show just the descent of the pure descent into madness that both of these two men have undergone over this weird
yeah.
bullshit.
Right before that moment that you're talking about,
yes,
Eddie and Ray were having a big punch out fight at the top of the ladder, and I made a note. Eddie has the briefcase, but just doesn't pull it down. Elizabeth would hate it.
oh my god. Oh, there were some times in this match where I'm like, this feels like a more reasonable like ladder match that Elizabeth could maybe get on board with, all things considered. And then there were other times I'm like, oh no, never mind.
This match had a lot of spots where they just kind of don't win, and they very much could have won. Though one of them is a botch, and I will tell you when that was.
Yeah,
I have supposed to be that.
Interesting. I have a vague idea of what it might be. But we'll get there. No. So some other stuff. Ray monkey flips Eddie to the outside at one point, which like I kind of made me realize I barely see like monkey flips these days. People don't really seem to do them.
Do more monkey flips.
Yeah, monkey flips are sick, dude. I love that shit. They definitely need to be done more. Also, Cole, it's so funny because like the match goes on for a little bit, and Cole's been remarking about how like Eddie has been in complete control. And at one point, he said like Eddie's got Ray in the corner, and he's just beating up on him. Cole says Ray has barely been in this match, and then like 10 seconds later, Eddie's pulled Ray to the center and is like beating up on him some more. And then Cole says Eddie is just beginning to dominate. What was everything prior? Cole, you literally just said.
What are you doing?
What?
So stupid. Eddie does control a lot of the early portion of the match after the fucked up sunset flip.
I feel like I heard someone in the crowd who may have been. They were either rooting for Eddie, or I just like, or they were reprimanding him, because I heard Eddie, come on, and then something unintelligible, but it didn't necessarily sound like I couldn't tell if it was a reprimanding tone or like an encouraging tone. And if it was an encouraging tone, I would like to know who the one fan in the crowd was who really wanted to see Dominik actually be a Guerrero.
Yeah, of course. Had
vision.
Yeah, so after the sunset flip, this is when I made a note, stop cutting to Dominik's blank face.
Oh my god.
They cut to him constantly for reaction shots, but Dominik barely reacts to anything.
There were many times I thought to make a note on it, and then I just kind of didn't, because I was just like, it's just a blank face, whatever. But
I stopped making notes on it, except when commentary tries to assert.
I have a note about it at the end of the match.
Facial expressions, and I'm like, this is the same fucking face. I have a note about
that exact thing at the end of the match. We'll get there.
As an example of that, Eddie at one point gets a second ladder for reasons that Elizabeth would not enjoy. And Ray, and he sandwiches Ray in between the two ladders.
He goes, hey, Ray, make me a sandwich.
He does a springboard helo, which is actually the correct term. That is why it's basically like you flip forward and go land on your back. That is why when you do it, a dive to the outside is a tope con helo. That is the correct term. But so Michael called it a helo and was right. That felt weird. But he does this move. They cut to Dominik, and Cole goes, "What's Dominik's reaction?" And Dominik is the same face as always.
Same fucking face. That
incredible.
Slack jawed.
Yeah, so the craziest whacked ass unsafe moment of the whole fucking match. Eddie works his way up the ladder. Ray gets the second ladder, pushes it over into the first ladder so that he can climb up quickly, right?
Climb it, yeah.
Yeah, but so they get at the top. Ray back body drops Eddie onto the secondary ladder, and the entire ladder group thing collapses, and they both fall on their ass.
That was insane. This battle's like fucking ugly. Again, like you said, sloppy, but in like a fitting way. It just feels like ugly and personal, and god damn.
Also, at some point in the match, I noted somebody had a Hassan got screwed sign. I'm like, yes!
Yes! Where are my Muhammad Hassan truthers at? That's
Absolutely.
what I'm saying. When you really think about it, Muhammad screwed Muhammad.
All right, so Eddie grabs the ladder and puts it on the top rope, just kind of sitting on it. And Ray goes for a move, and Eddie flips him up into the ladder, which of course leads to another cut to Dominik. Dominik looks on in disbelief. No,
Dominik looks on in blank stare.
All right, and then I wrote Eddie slowly climbs the ladder.
Ever so slowly. And then he gets toward the top and he starts grabbing for the briefcase. And Dominik enters the fucking ring and starts trying to pull down the ladder. You want to talk about whack-ass unsafe? What the fuck? Why did they let him do this IRL? Why did the social worker not chase after him in kayfabe? She just... That social worker
8-year-old interfering in a ladder match?
Dude, that social worker was the one person we were like saying had any goddamn sense last week, but I guess she's fucking incompetent in her job too, because she just let this kid
she went to go to get concessions. That's what I'm gonna kayfabe happened here. Is that the
I could believe it.
Went to go get snacks, and Dominik just ran in there.
She's like, you'll be good to stay here, right? And he's like, yeah, totally. Yeah, so Eddie's like, what the fuck? He turns around and sees it's Dominik, wags its finger at him, and slowly starts coming down the ladder at Dominik, and he screams, "Hey, what are you doing? Don't you know how dangerous that is? What's the matter with you? Give me a hug!"
Yeah, okay, he does that, and then he goes, "Give me a hug! Don't you love me? You're gonna love me!"
Jesus Christ. Literally, again, rife with insecurities, this man. Please, Eddie, go to therapy.
No!
So, but he backs, yeah, he's too cheap for therapy, I guess. No, he backs Dominik into the corner and is like, "I'm your new daddy now, SA. Get used to it. And you're gonna learn." And what's legitimately kind of a harrowing moment is like, "You're going to learn the hard way what it means to be a Guerrero." Raise his hand, winding up to strike Dominik. And then Ray comes in and is like, "Hey, fuck you. Don't hit my son." And Ray's back in the match.
And Dominik is escorted out by the referee to get out of the ring. His
spot's
over. We're done.
The social worker's still just fucking sitting there.
The social worker saw none of this. I'm telling you, she was getting concessions. She missed this entire thing. So Ray sets up a ladder up into the ropes, and then he drops Eddie face into the ladder the same way he dropped him up for the 619. And then Ray 619's a ladder.
Yeah, Ray 619's the ladder into Eddie. And okay, this is one of those moments. Fucking shout out. You can tell like that. This is one of those times where you can tell that like Eddie and Ray were just like fucking best friends IRL. Cause like this is a shout out to like Eddie and Ray having such perfect in-ring chemistry here. Because like not only does like Ray hit that 6 spot on Eddie where he hits the 619 through the ladder onto Eddie and it knocks Eddie back and it's sick as fuck. But something I noticed, because like normally when the 619 gets hit, or like another move that is the 619 but not called the 619, you knock the person into the rope and they just kind of like hang there on the middle rope like a dope. And half the time they sit there for like 30 seconds and you're like, how have they not like recovered by this point? And it looks awkward as fuck. I love the 619. It's a sick move.
The setup is a little awkward sometimes.
Dear God, the setup can be. But motherfucking Eddie is starting to like get up from the 619, and Ray essentially hits him from a standing position through that ladder. Like Eddie has such perfect in-ring chemistry with Ray that he knows exactly how to like not make the wait for the 619 look awkward as fuck. Like, as just one of those moments of like, if you know what's going on, technically, it's such a small thing, but it's so impressive because it looked so natural, and I kind of had to stop and realize, like, wait, why did that look so good to me? And it was because like Eddie was a dynamic victim to the move in that case. He wasn't just fucking laying there like a dope. So that was awesome. And
then Ray does a leg drop on that ladder afterwards. I'm like, he fucked his own leg there.
That was kind of stupid.
Ray sets the ladder up under Eddie's body, and then Eddie gets up and gets under Ray for the electric chair drop.
Yeah.
And Ray he power bombs Eddie off the ladder.
So Ray's up on Eddie's shoulders. He fucking spider monkeys his way like down Eddie's back and power bombs him onto the ground from the top of the ladder. What the fuck?
Yep.
And then so after Ray hits that move, we got back over to Dominik, and Jazz goes, "Look at this kid smiling," and Dominik's face is just like, "Oh, I'm not smiling. This is gas." Dominik's got like he's got like the most like flat expression on his face. Like his teeth are showing, but it's like
that's new. But other than that, that's
not a smile, Taz. I know Vince is telling you exactly what Dominik is supposed to be feeling right now, but that kid is not getting those notes.
Dom is not
in the earpiece with Vince.
No, Dom is too green for this. He is not following directions.
An actor, he is not.
No, okay. So Ray crawls up the ladder. Ray has his hands on the fucking briefcase and just doesn't pull it down for reasons. And Eddie kicks the ladder out from under Ray. So Ray is just hanging there.
Yup.
By the briefcase, and Eddie power bombs him back down to the floor.
Eddie like so Ray's like dangling above Eddie. Eddie goes under Ray. Ray drops into him. And like Eddie kind of like tugs on Ray's leg a little to kind of like make it look like he's pulling. Ray drops into him, and Eddie sends that into a fucking catches his fall into a spine breaker. Holy fuck, their chemistry is so fucking perfect.
Now Eddie.
Oh my god.
So now Eddie, he takes the ladder. He positions it under Ray.
Sorry. They do a replay. They do one thing more thing. They do a replay of that, and it was at this point like. They apparently have a briefcase POV cam because they show that from above, and it's like, what? Why did you feel the need to rig that up? What's the point of it?
You didn't use it again. What are you doing?
They literally just had the one-time use briefcase POV cams. So dumb. Yeah. So
Eddie sets up the ladder under Ray's body, which seems
on top of Ray's body.
On top of Ray. Sorry. So he sets it on top of Ray,
which feels like an incredibly moronic move.
Yes, it did, but it did not play out the way it was supposed to play out. And on this one, so Eddie climbs up the ladder. He gets to the top, decides to go mock Ray instead of getting at that briefcase. Yep. And here I wrote, "Where the fuck is Vicky?" which I will explain more about in about 2 more notes of mine. Eddie has the fucking briefcase, and he can't get it down.
Yeah, so Eddie, I did make a note of like Eddie has to bullshit his way into not knowing how the fuck a carabiner works.
This was a botch. So Ray, this next sequence was entirely made up on the spot.
That's so sick.
The botch. Ray moves the ladder out of the way. Eddie tries to hang on the same way Ray was hanging on a second ago, and Ray just grabs Eddie's ankle and yanks him down. And Eddie is fucking pissed, and he's pounding the mat, and I'll explain why. What he's saying right here is because this was a botch. Yes. Vicky Guerrero was supposed to come out when Eddie was on that ladder and do the thing she does at the end of the match here, but she wasn't there. So they improvise a way to get Eddie off the ladder, on top of the ladder, And when Eddie is pounding the mat, and they beautifully have edited out the audio of this, but what Eddie is yelling is, "Where the fuck is Vicky? God damn it!"
Why would he yell that? Eddie, no.
Because he's pissed off that she fucked up the spot.
Oh no, she's too green too. Oh no, she hasn't learned how to make a perfectly timed entrance yet.
Yeah, so that they edited out that audio brilliantly. I was afraid I would not remember where this happens in this match, but nope, I got it. It was right here. Vicky was supposed to come out and interfere at that exact moment.
Well, it is
missed her cue, and they had to just kind of figure out a way for Eddie to not win in the moment.
It is. Well, it is funny because like that didn't register with me because I figured like Ray was supposed to escape from under the ladder because I figure like putting Ray under the ladder, like I get like Eddie's logic there, but also I feel like Ray is in a spot where he could do things to like fuck up the ladder. So I was like, okay, this is gonna be a Ray escaping the ladder spot. And what I thought was happening when Eddie clearly was like pretending like he didn't know how the fuck to open a carabiner, was like Ray was just like taking an extra second to get out from under the ladder.
Yeah, no, he was trying to vamp for Vicky, who missed her cue entirely.
Oh my god, that's unfortunate. But Eddie's back down on the ground and he's pissed. So, and the ladder's falling over at this point. And again, beautiful, like again, another example of how their in-ring chemistry is perfect because seamlessly this transition to a spot where like Eddie grabs Ray and fucking 3 amigos him, 1 on the mat, 2 on the mat, and the 3rd amigo onto the fucking ladder that has fallen over. Mm-hmm. Fucking ow. That is so sick.
Yeah, so Eddie sets up the ladder again. He climbs the ladder again, and finally, Vicky is here.
Vicky's here. And she's like, hey, wait, no, stop doing this. And so she starts shaking the ladder and like she pushes it a little and it falls over as she steps back like
she falls over. Eddie lands face first in the ropes. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Well, yeah, so it's funny. So she pushes the ladder one way. Eddie lands face first, but the ladder kind of ends up falling in the opposite direction than how Vicky pushed it and where Eddie ended up landing, which is like, physics.
Yeah, but like that fall and Ray's fall off the ladder when the whole ladder collapsed was like the scariest falls for me in the whole match.
Oh, without a doubt. The botch sunset flip was a little scary too, but like less so than those other ones. To be
still at least the botch sunset flip, Ray was still landing the way you're supposed to land on a sunset flip.
Well, he didn't even land. Eddie was the one that landed. Eddie was like kind of landed on his ass. Ray was still kind of on the ladder.
Ray kind of fell over, like as if
a little bit, yeah.
That flip was actually working, but like Ray was like they're just like free falling off these ladders.
Oh my god, no!
And however they land is how they land,
dude. This is the one thing I will give. Like as much as funny as it is to listen to Elizabeth angrily rant about how nonsensical ladder matches work, I will give ladder matches that as someone who sometimes does go up on a tall ladder. Like I've had to go up on tall ladders before. That shit does get scary and kind of unstable toward the top. I don't blame someone for slowing down. And I can only imagine how fucking horrifying it is to be at the top of the ladder, knowing that it's about to get knocked down and that you have to find a way to safely fall off of it. I think I would just expire on the spot. So the fact that like they executed that shit in this match is so goddamn insane.
Yep. So then finally, Ray climbs up and gets the briefcase and wins. We did it. As notably though, Eddie tries to climb back up the ladder, and Vicky literally wrestles him back.
Yes, she pulls him back. She has her "oh, I fucked up and just hurt my husband" mode, and then Eddie tries to get back up the ladder while Ray's going up it, and Vicky's like, "Actually, no, fuck it. I'll do it. I'll fucking do it again."
Mm-hmm. And so Ray wins, and Dom runs in the ring, and he embraces Eddie.
And Angie's coming out, not nearly mad enough at Ray for making this stupid bullshit get to this point in the first place.
Mm-hmm. They get out of the ring, and Eddie is just walking around the ring fuming. And so Ray,
I'll finish before you say something. Yes. So before you say the very final thing that happens in the ring here, like, I feel like so. First of all, just one more time, why the fuck is the social worker okay with any of this? Um,
Good
'cause-
question. Where is it? Where is she even?
where is she even? Still at the concession stand. There was a long line. Maybe she felt like
Hey,
getting some merch.
hey, I
She's
get
actually
that. I get that. Last time I got concessions at a wrestling show, I missed an entire tag match. So
holy
I understand.
shit. Yeah, fucking. She's actually a huge Cena mark, so she's buying her "You Can't See Me" shirt.
Oh
Um,
no.
oh yeah, baby. That's how you know she's got bad taste. So no, so like, here's the thing, like, if you really think about it, Ray only wins this match because of interference from both his own son and from Vicky, which is kind of great because it shows like the community coming together to like rebuke Eddie's whole bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
It
It's a
shows the family like
family
uniting
effort.
against the
Get
evil.
it?
But
So it gets a thematically
yes,
and helpful.
with
Good.
except I feel like we're kind of missing out by not having Eddie go through some kind of come to Jesus moment. I feel like it could have been so much more powerful if, like, we have, like, yeah, we still have, like, the Dom interference and the Vicky interference. We still get Eddie climbing to the top of the ladder, and, like, he sees from the top of it kind of everything below him one last time. And he kind of takes a moment to, like, see the supposedly pained look on Dominik's face and see the hell that Ray has put himself through to protect his son. And we get a payoff to that moment where Ray almost convinced him, like a couple weeks ago when the lawyer was present, where he steps down and he concedes. So much so, now that I've seen like a version of now that I've not a version now that I've seen a video of Eddie and Ray winning the tag titles prior to this, where toward the end of that match, Eddie like feigned being knocked out to like possum his way into like getting the jump on his opponent and try to get a pin out of it. It would have been so cool if like Eddie fucking like came down off the ladder, knocked it over, and fell to the ground, looking apparently knocked out, for Ray to like come up, or you know, so either like intentionally like back down and be like, Ray, no, take your son back, or like give Ray the dub by making it look like he was also knocked out. Like, I feel like we could have gotten such a more powerful arc out of this whole thing by having Eddie realize, no, I was doing this for all the wrong reasons, and I can't go through this. Have the payoff to that good man within you that will not let you that will not let you beat Ray line from Vicky earlier. But no, he's still a bastard. He throws a whole tantrum, and then Ray, while he's throwing this tantrum, completely unprovoked, comes into the ring and hits him with the briefcase, because what's a nuanced character arc?
Yeah, so I guess this is when I'll bring up how this story really ends.
Yes.
I'll admit I didn't watch the SmackDowns that they talk about here. I kind of wish I had figured this out sooner and would have been able to make time to.
Yeah.
I found this out way too late in the process. I wish I would have had time to actually watch these episodes. But the way this feud ends properly on the September 9th episode of SmackDown, we talked about how this story end in a way that made sense, because of like, you can't have Ray lose to Eddie because with the custody of Dominik on the line.
Yes.
But also it feels like what would make Eddie give up this quest to beat Ray? Well, I guess the answer to that question is on September 9th episode of SmackDown, he wrestles Rey Mysterio in a steel cage and he wins. Eddie Guerrero 8 times the charms it and beats Ray. And that is the end. Eddie gets what he wants. He wanted to beat Rey Mysterio in a match, and he does. All right.
And that's it.
That's it. We're done. Moving on.
What? What the fuck?
Eddie is moving on to be the #1 contender to Batista's World Championship. So moving on.
What? What the fuck? No, that's so dumb. We could have had the perfect shit where Eddie could have actually beaten Ray, and for that matter, beaten him pretty fucking clean, all things considered. And then at the very last second, be like, wait, no, this is wrong. I actually don't need this to validate me. Ray, take your son back. No.
That would have been a really cool angle. But you know
Yes!
what? That would show like male vulnerability and nuance or some shit. And this is wrestling. So fuck you, pal. This story ends because Eddie Guerrero gets what he wants. He finally beats Ray in a match. He doesn't realize that this whole obsession is a waste of time and destroying his personal relationships and that he needs to stop. No, the story ends because he finally wins a match.
What the fuck? That's so dumb. No, that's just validating him.
Little bit.
What?
Yeah, I also
will
prefer
literally
I
become
prefer
pro
your
wrestlers
ending here.
instead of going to therapy.
Correct. Yeah, I prefer your ending that kind of acknowledges the emotional crux of Eddie's issues and has him acknowledge that they are bad.
It's not that hard. Not only is it not that hard to come up with something like that, it was actively set up for. And then they just didn't do anything with it. Oh my God.
Hate to leave you in 2005 on a bit of a bad note, but
no. I am honestly, because I kept hoping deep down that they were gonna like actually do something intelligent with the ending to this arc, but I kind of knew deep down that this shit would end just as stupid and abrupt as it began, and in that sense, it delivered tenfold.
Yeah, so we've already kind of. I don't want to talk about SummerSlam as a whole. Like I said, a couple highlights. Generally, not a show that I'd be like, you got to sit down and watch all 3 hours.
No.
But
check out Taker versus Orton and check out the ladder match. And you know what?
Shawn
and
Hogan,
check out
if you're a meme lord.
Shawn Hogan, if you're here for the memes, which we very much are.
Yeah, but Eddie and Ray, it's one of the more infamous soap opera-y angles in wrestling. I mean, how can it not be? There was a match to determine the custody of a child.
This was
how does that not go down in infamy?
This was everything I dreamed it would be, Austin. From the moment you told me about this arc, and I immediately begged you, please God, let us do this for the podcast one day. This was everything I dreamed it would be and more. It was so over the top. It was so ridiculous. We got Eddie Guerrero at his most unhinged. We got the most moon logic storytelling from so many different angles. And it all culminated in a match that is so fucking sick and also extremely, extremely stupid by every metric. This is easily my favorite arc that we have ever done on this podcast. I am so happy. Because I'm trying to think of what other arcs in this show I've loved. I love Summer of Punk, but that ended on a stupid note, which, in this case, the stupid note is fine because the whole thing is stupid. Summer of Punk actually had fucking potential. That ended on a stupid note, which hampers it a little bit. What else? Women's Revolution was sick as fuck, but also it didn't rise to the memes. It was
Fair.
Great, but it was so earnest, It
was too earnestly good.
It was too earnestly good. What am I supposed to do with that? Just kind of sit here and be like, this is cool. Obviously, I love Lucha Underground, but again, it's an unironic love. It's And also, I don't think we can fully call Lucha Underground an arc. It is a whole. We're just watching.
We're just watching the show.
We're just watching the show. That ain't no arc. That is just a show. No, this is easily my favorite arc we have ever done for this show. I am filled with joy at the fact that you gave this to me. The greatest gift I have ever been given in my life, getting to experience the entirety, minus the dumb fucking Hell in a Cell match afterward. The entirety of the custody of Dominik, Rey and Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero feud. Yes. This is bliss. I am in heaven. I can't believe that I got to have this. I don't know. Fuck. Let's just end the show right here. We've done everything. We could show Noobs and Knockouts final episode. We don't gotta do no more. I have reached the peak. We have found Nirvana, Austin. We can sit here in bliss for the rest of our lives if we so choose. Right?
I'm gonna cycle back to that comment in a couple minutes.
Oh no.
But I want to say that I really appreciated and had a lot of fun with this arc. Obviously, my revelations about what 2005 SmackDown was like could just blow in my mind on a weekly basis of just what was going on here. But
it was bad and it was stupid.
Yeah, my favorite part about this podcast, as I kind of talked about in episode 100, was kind of getting to, you hear about these storylines and these matches that everyone talks about and how great they were and how fun, how silly or great or bad or whatever they were.
Yeah.
Getting to actually kind of experience those, watch the weekly show and get in there on the stuff that some people do remember talking about and the stuff that people don't talk about. Like, that's a very fun aspect for me as someone who is terminally online in the wrestling community.
Even if you are banned from Squared Circle.
I am. I'm a permanent lurker now, and it is better for my mental health that it stays.
It was a blessing in disguise.
It is a blessing in disguise. But this arc has been a whole lot of fun. I'm glad that I decided to indulge David and pick this one.
Oh, I'm so happy.
So what are we going to fill this part of our calendar with?
Why am I suddenly filled with a sense of dread?
No, you don't need to be filled with dread. You being like, we can just end the show right here. That's very fascinating that you would say that, because I had a bit of a revelational thought today. You know, this is episode 101 of this podcast. We are in a new era of this show. The second 100 episodes.
Season for our heroes and pals.
Yes. And David, we've made several jokes now about how David has no power on this podcast, no ability to control anything what happens here. What? But I said it's a new day, it's a new era.
What?
So why not this next arc? I am going to give David two choices, and which one he picks will be our next arc from the Attitude New.
Wait, no. Era. When I said I didn't have enough power, I was kidding. I like not having power. What?
Come on, David.
No.
I'm giving you two choices.
Now I'm responsible for my. Now there are consequences to my actions. No.
We can't end the show yet. We can't end the show yet. I'm just now prepared to give over some of my power.
No! Oh, shit. Oh, no. The monkey paw is curled. Oh, God. All right.
So, David, I am going to give you two choices. And just for the sake of fun, I will not fully explain these choices. You will just get two choices. And afterwards, I'll tell you which one you pick. So, here are your choices. WWF 1998 or WCW 1996. You may choose either. I will tell you which story you picked after you're done.
I feel like those dates sound familiar to me.
They're both Attitude Era. This
yes,
I know.
Monday
Night War era. So
I know. I think I'm going to challenge myself here. I would love nothing more than to go to WCW 96 and have me a good old have me a good old time at my dear cause that is close to my heart of alternative mainstream wrestling with some like really good work, and a sneaking suspicion I have that this has something to do with some infamous NWO shenanigans. So I would love to do that, but this is a new season, a new chapter, and I feel like I have grown so much in my time on this podcast. We began this next 100 episodes with my personal nirvana of my like noob 1.0 era. It's now time to test myself, challenge myself, return to a time that I once upon a time found great distaste in, with new eyes, new appreciation, and maybe a new understanding. So I, challenging myself, say, let's take a visit to the WWF in 98.
Oh, I was so hoping you'd pick that one.
Oh no.
So, in the summer of 1998, Vince Russo had an idea. A terrible, awful idea.
Oh no.
A terrible. I don't know how to continue this.
Yeah, I'm just imagining Vince Russo doing the grin smile right now, and it's making me very sad.
In the middle of 1998, in the middle of our fake wrestling matches, the WWF decided that we are going to have a shoot fight tournament. It is, in the words of many, the worst idea that Vince Russo has ever had. In the summer of 98, we had the Brawl for All tournament. And we are going to be watching that as our next arc.
Oh no! I've heard of the Brawl for All. I've heard that name. I had no idea what it was. I assumed it was just another like now retired pay-per-view from the Fed or something like that. Oh no.
This is also a backdrop to cover the summer of 98, because we're obviously not just going to watch the dumb shoot fights, but
yes,
we are here for a really bad tough man contest.
Oh boy. Oh man, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions.
Would you like to know what the other choice was, by the way?
Was it Finger Poke of Doom?
No, I didn't pick two bad storylines. I picked a good one and a bad one for you.
Oh, fuck you.
Now, to be clear, we will cover this eventually. I just couldn't make a choice. But the other option was we were going to cover the birth of Crow Sting in WCW. Like what caused him to shift to being the Crow.
Damn it, David. No. Why? Well. If it isn't the consequences of my own fucking actions. Oh.
Yeah, so that's for the next time. We're about 5 episodes from now. But our next episode, we're returning to 2013. We're skipping all the way ahead to December 2013, where they are setting up for a unification match between WWE Champion Randy Orton and World Heavyweight Champion John Cena. Their 2 belts becoming one. This is the future of the WWE. Daniel Bryan, who's that? And the crowd, of course, as we will see next week, perfectly accepted this, and in fact, did not rebel or do anything uncouth.
Crowds don't have minds of their own. What
No,
is
they are
that?
we will learn next week that crowds are mindless sheep that will clap when they are told to clap and boo when they are told to boo.
That's why Roman Reigns has always been so popular, right?
Mm-hmm. So yes, next week we cover the title unification ceremony on Monday Night Raw that will definitely not be hijacked and completely ruined.
I'm excited. I'm excited. All hail the American Sudoku puzzle, Bryan Danielson.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the American Sudoku puzzle. Yep, that's it.
Yes, that's what we call him in my house.
All right, but that is for next time. Until then, David, hit our plugs.
Yes, sir. Dear friends, thank you all so much for tuning in to yet another episode of the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast. We are so delighted to have you here. If you are a if you're a returning listener, viewer, what have you, you know the drill. Thank you so much for once again welcoming us back into your eardrums, your eyeballs, whatever it is used to consume our content. We're just happy to be here and happy to have you all here along with us. If you're a first-time viewer, listener, whatever, hi, hey, how's it going? We are so happy to have you here. We here at the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast like to think we are friendly to both noobs and knockouts alike. So whether you are brand new to the wild, wacky world of wrestling, or you're a veteran of all the weird bullshit, either way, we hope you feel welcome here. We hope you feel everything's accessible here. We hope you want to keep joining us week after week after week. If you would like to do that, I will tell you exactly how. First of all, you can find us on YouTube. We are the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on YouTube. Hit subscribe, ring that bell, make sure it turns a nice little solid color so you get notifications every single time we drop a brand new episode. Give us that sweet engagement. Check out all of our playlists that Austin is kind enough to organize all of our arcs into their own separate playlists so you can follow something all the way down without having to skip around a whole lot. It's great. And also you can see our lovely faces and Austin's impression of Batista shaking the ropes and my impression of Batista getting choked out by a belt. Very kinky. Either way, come join us over on the YouTube. But if you are a fan of the audio-only experience, we completely understand, and we have you covered there as well. You can find us on 3 of the best places to find your audio podcast, which would be Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Come give us a listen, download our show, give us a nice little 5-star rating if you're so inclined, and maybe even leave a nice little review that's like, hey guys, these dudes are pretty cool. You should check them out more. I don't know. I'm just saying. So give us a listen, maybe some of the extra engagement if you're so inclined. Please and thank you on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. But of course, we have a presence beyond just our talky little few hours of wrestling every week. You can find us on Twitter. We are on the Twitter at Noobs and Knox Pod. That's at Noobs, the letter N, Knox Pod on Twitter. Come check us out there. We post memes. We engage in discourse. We put up a post every single time we drop a brand new episode. Of course, the highlight of our Twitter, our favorite thing to do, is weekly wrestling live tweeting every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. on TBS. We are watching AEW Dynamite and tweeting about it at least a little bit, as much as we can anyway. I've been kind of doing a lot of that recently. Austin, I'm sure, will be coming back at some point. We will be tag teaming on it, all that stuff. We just like to live tweet, so come check us out. And on top of that, of course, when I'm feeling frisky about it, when we're not recording past the time it starts on a Friday night, as many Friday nights as we can on TNT at 10 p.m. Eastern, we are watching AEW Rampage. It is the show that y'all been waiting on. It's a great time doing that as well. Of course, past that, we like to live tweet AEW pay-per-views. The next one coming up, I believe, is Revolution, my dear co-host.
Yes, on March 5th, as we continue to not have matches for it yet. I mean, I guess you could argue that Bryan Danielson versus MJF is definitely going to happen.
It's a zillion percent going to happen. It's going to be a sick-ass Iron Man match.
Right, but technically speaking, it's not official yet.
No, it's still chugging its way down the line, but you know, it's gonna happen. Yes. And then of course after that we don't tend to we're kind of stepping away from tweeting about the other companies, but they got some other pay-per-views coming up.
I was going to mention it in case I feel like coming back to it. WWE Elimination Chamber on February 18th. We have a elimination. We already have 3 matches set. We're going to get an elimination chamber match for the United States Championship. Because the Uwu title is going to be a little bit busy. We have an elimination chamber match for a Raw women's title match at WrestleMania 39 because Rhea Ripley has already said I'm facing Charlotte for the SmackDown belt for winning the Rumble.
Fair enough.
But for the Uwu title, it's set tonight, this very night that we are recording this on SmackDown, it was announced Roman Reigns versus the former honorary Uce, Sami Zayn, for the Uwu Championship.
Oh, I didn't think they'd actually be going through with that match. That is sick.
And then for Impact Wrestling, all the way out on April 16th, they will have Impact Rebellion. If you are not watching Impact's pay-per-views, I will go ahead and hype them the fuck up. They almost always deliver. They're kind of understated. You know, most people just like LOL TNA is still alive, and they are admittedly the cockroaches of the wrestling industry.
They ain't fucking dying.
I can assure you in the future nuclear winter that they are going to transition fully into being cockroach championship wrestling, and they're still going to be performing on Axis TV. But now with cockroaches
in this world: death, taxes, and Impact on Axis.
Absolutely. But their pay-per-views are genuinely very good shows and great matches. Sure. A lot of fun. Definitely worth checking out if you're looking for something a little beyond our usual AEW fare.
Hell yeah, brother. You know, we're shameless marks around here, but we'll still tell you about the other stuff.
Of course. But yeah, that is what we have going on the Twitter.
Absolutely. So be sure to check it out. It's a great time. If you like listening to us ramble about wrestling for whatever fucking reason, you'll like it over here. Over on the Twitter, our voices carry over pretty well. We're just over here to have a good time. So again, that's the Twitter at Noobs and Knockouts Pod. But of course, if you want to get in super direct contact with us, we also have an email address. Ain't that neat? You can email us at noobsandknockoutspod@gmail.com. That's noobs, the word, and knockoutspod@gmail.com. Come say hi to us there. Tell us what you think about the show. Request things you want to see us cover on the show. Tell us our hot takes are based and red-pilled or that they're fucking stupid, whatever. Start discourse with us. Start conversation. Just say hi. We love people saying hi. We would love to say hi back. Noobs and knockoutspod@gmail.com. And of course, finally, we are also on Patreon. Ain't that cool? We are also the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on Patreon. The link for that is in our Twitter. $1 a month gives you early access to episodes and a shout out at the end of each episode. Shout out to friend of the show, the Sugar Daddy, Kyle Smith, for all of his support. Enjoy your perks, buddy. If you want to enjoy your perks along with Kyle, be sure to give us that dollary due over on the Patreon. It'd be much appreciated. It helps out the show. Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on the Patreon. Link is in the Twitter.
See y'all next time.
Hasta luego.